In the shivering cradle of the north, beneath pale stars and frost-laced skies, a child shall draw her first breath. Upon her breast the mark shall burn deep, black, and ancient, the stain of the abyss. She is no ordinary babe, but born of dark blood, her veins thrumming with infernal sorcery, her soul tethered to realms where mortals dare not gaze. She will walk as a girl among men, yet the shadow will know her as kin. Her laughter will echo like a charm sweet and beguiling, but behind her eyes smolder a fire not lit by this world. As she grows, so too shall her power, until the veil between planes wears thin, and the beast of her blood press against the door. Should she come of age unchecked, she will call to her kin not in prayer, but in triumph. And they will answer, oh yes, they will come, on wings of flame and ruin, to walk once more in the daylight. Woe then to the realm of men, for suffering shall not descend like rain, but rise like flood, drowning all. Thus is it woven, thus shall it be, unless a blade finds her heart before the hourglass runs dry.
We're here. Before you say anything that's like inappropriate, not that we say inappropriate things, but you know, there you go. There you go. Hey everybody, we're here for our second session of Chronicles of Carlion. It's part of the Summer of Siege that Troll Lord Games is putting on, and we're really happy to be a part of that. And I'm just a big Castles and Crusades fan, so this is nothing but roses for me. Nothing but roses for me. Before we get started, though, I'm going to pass it over to Tim, and he's going to talk about 988.
Indeed. So what we crested over 1,000. Fantastic.
You're breaking up on me.
I'm breaking up?
Yeah. Is it just me?
You guys hear me okay?
I can hear you now.
Words.
You were just fading.
Was it?
You're just fading.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So 988 is mental health.
Nope.
And it's a charity that. Am I breaking up again?
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
Interesting.
Give your microphone kisses and.
Yeah, I'll give it kisses. Interesting.
I don't know why it's doing it. But it isn't. I'm glad it's just not. It's not just me.
No. How about meow?
So far, so good now, dude. It's just every time you go into your spiel, then it goes, okay, now I'll like cut every third word out.
Like work, psych.
Okay. How about this? All right. 988 is a mental health awareness, suicide awareness hotline. Okay. Yeah. It's so if you call and it will get you nothing. It's cracking up again.
It's still yeah.
Just go. It might pass. It might just be a Discord thing.
Maybe.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm sure that everybody here watching knows exactly what we struggle with on Discord. So, you know.
So, yep. So if you can't hear me, or whatever, hopefully it works itself out. But bottom line is, 988 itself is not something that you want to use on your darkest. It's very preventative. So you can reach out if you feel yourself kind of spiraling or whatever. And then they'll get you a brighter day. So that's our charity. That my mic was being wonky. Bad Michael. Hopefully it gets better.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. And obviously we don't have. I'm just going to plug 988 for a second because this is something I just learned being Canadian. We didn't have 988, but we do now. That's a North American thing now. It's up here as well.
9AA.
Yeah, 8. And we promise our operators don't say sorry that much. Sorry. Sorry.
He said it, guys. He said it. Everyone take a drink at home if you're watching.
Clip it.
I will also drop a no doubt about it. No do to boot it. I'll try to really lean into it. New do to boot it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Tim, I don't know if Tim needs an introduction, but while we're with you, do you want to just tell everybody who you're playing tonight?
So Tim is playing. Let's see. I just want to get his last name correct, but it was Vagard. What did I have as? Oh, I didn't think it was the last name. Was it Elon? Anyways, playing Vagard, a paladin, Castles of Crusade.
Nice.
And thanks for reminding me to get my notes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coco, who are you playing tonight?
Yes. Hi, Coco Bunny 94 here. I'm playing Thora. She is a tiefling barbarian.
Excellent. And Mr. Birthday himself, Mox, who are you playing tonight?
Thank you for the birthday wishes, but I am playing Silas Wren, the brooding wizard who thinks he knows too much, but I'm sure he'd take a hit from a goblin and be completely okay. But it'll be fine.
Should we sing Happy Birthday to Mox?
Can we not and say we did it?
Show your
Happy to you. Happy birthday to you.
Birthday to you.
Not working.
Happy birthday to Mox. Happy birthday to you.
Hang on, guys. I got a call. We've been canceled. I'm so sorry, guys. We've been canceled. Troll Lord said we were good. Troll Lord Game said you guys are done.
Isn't that the most uncomfortable feeling in the world? When I was a kid, my mom has pictures of me at birthday parties, like crying because people are singing "Happy Birthday" to me. I don't know why. Anyway, awesome. So let's recap a little bit. So last time the party, all for different reasons, sort of arrived at Darkwood Abbey, and upon arriving there at Darkwood Abbey, a couple things were sort of laid out in front of you, and one of which was that some of you had come to meet with Brother Jakob, and Brother Jakob was very pleased to see you. However, Brother Graydon, who had been researching the prophecy of Istis in the Bloodhorn Bog, sort of returned to them via Thora. She brought him back to the Abbey, and he has lost his mind somewhat. He is fractured. He is broken, and babbling on about Istis's prophecy being a lie, or he keeps talking about like the thread going slack, and she wove the lie herself. This sort of thing that didn't make a whole lot of sense necessarily. Whatever the case, there was some, Tim had arrived to actually escort Brother Jakob back to the capital. And Brother Jakob's like, well, I can't leave with my good friend Brother Graydon in this kind of shape, and I need to go to the bog and find out what he's talking about. So I'm going to take you guys with me. And some of you out of duty were told to come, and then others out of interest chose to tag along as well. And last time we left, the party was sort of staying at the Earthy Rose, which is the inn that lies in the village of Thornton, which is just outside of the Abbey. So the Abbey proper is sort of like a place of religious worship and learning, and then we have Thornton, which is this little village tucked beside it. So it's a new day. Everyone for resting in an inn overnight. If there is any injuries, you can heal three hit points per level. So in our case, being level 1, that's only 3 hit points. But I don't know, I can't remember if people were wounded. I think Thora was maybe wounded. She'd taken a spear wound to the leg.
I was, but I'm back full now. That's all I needed was 3.
Okay, perfect. Grenna has arrived at the inn and tells you that although she intends to go on this quest to you and with you and wants you very much before entering the bog to go to her family's hometown, and let's bring up that map and take a look at it. So we're up in Darkwood Abbey right here. I'll ping the map. And then Grenna is from Grendel, and she's like it's not safe to take horses into the bog. So you can go to Grendel and sort of stable your horses and then go into the bog to try to find what Brother Graydon found in there. Okay, but as we learned last time, Grenna has just completed her oath as a knight, and because the player can't make it tonight, we're going to just say that Grenna has a few other rituals that are a necessity to her order, and she intends to catch up with you as soon as possible, but tells you to head to Grendel because she knows that time is of the essence. Okay? So with that in mind, let's cue up some music here. It's kind of quiet. Where shall we go? This is a good one. You find, as you're getting your packs ready, horses have been supplied. If you remember last time, the knights, I'm going to call them the Knights of the Rose, they were going to give you horses. So, Timothy, a horse has been brought down to the inn for you, as well as a pony for both Brother Jacob and for your squire, Jacques. And Brother Jacob is not a very skilled rider, he tells you, so he much prefers a pony.
Right.
We'll see if that works into plot or not. Whatever the case is, a few ponies are brought down as well as horses. And prior to leaving, you find Gran. Gran is the halfling innkeeper. I'm going to bring her up here. And Gran is out in her garden. Tucked behind the warm timbered walls of the Earthy Rose Inn lies a garden that seems touched by gentle magic. It blooms with righteous color, roses in full blush alongside spring daffodils, autumn marigolds mingling with fresh summer herbs, vines heavy with sweet berries twine through trellises, and patches of soft moss invite you to walk in bare feet. A gently twisted apple tree stands in the center of the garden, and the air carries the mingled scents of lavender, wild mint, honeysuckle, and the soft hum of bees and trilling bird songs. She smiles as she sees you, the horses having been brought up. They're not in the garden. You guys are in the garden, but the horses are not. They're on the edge outside, and Jacques is preparing them for you. And Gran says, "You're going into lands that are very old and ancient. And those old and ancient powers still hold sway there. You'll need to be careful," she says. "I picked you some apples," which she hands to you. There are 5 apples in total. 1 for each of you, as well as 1 for Jacques, and 1 for Brother Jacob. She tells you that she has placed blessings from her garden on it. Out of character, she's cast good fruit which is Castles and Crusades version of Goodberry. So if you're familiar with the D&D version, just for our watchers as well, if you'd like to know a little bit of a difference here. So good fruit in Castles and Crusades does not have to be cast on berries. It can be cast on fruit. So whereas good berries heal 1 hit point each, a good fruit heals 8 hit points. So eating the apples will heal you 8 hit points. And she tells you that the enchantment will last upon the apples for 3 days. Also written into the spell, if you use an apple, it will also give you +1 to your wisdom saves for 24 hours. Which I think is a funny little joke, because apples bringing wisdom and all that. And yeah. So, she gives you that. She then hands you 2 pieces of what, for all intents and purposes, look like dried up roots, maybe almost resembling jerky. And she tells you that these are roots from the darkwood trees of Sila Thalor, and she motions to the great wood that Darkwood Abbey sits beside. And she tells you that it doesn't taste great, but they'll protect you when you chew on them. And for in-game terms, by chewing on the Darkwood root, you will gain the Bark Skin spell for 1 hour, which gives you a +3 to armor class. Okay. These are all one-use things. So your apple will heal you for 8 hit points. It provides you all the food that you would require for 2 days, and gives you a +1 wisdom save for 24 hours. And the Darkwood root will give you a +3 to your armor class for 1 hour. And you have 2 doses of that. So you can split that amongst yourselves however you'd like. She smiles. Sorry, go ahead.
Roots do we have?
2. You have 2 Darkwood roots, and 5 apples.
I just like blackroot from, what is it, Willow?
Yeah.
Blackroot.
We can totally call it blackroot.
I'll make it so.
I'm not so set on names. Blackroot, I totally forgot the Willow reference, so that's good.
Well, we're very fortunate to have such an amazing berry godmother.
She smiles at that, pats you on the hip because she likes you.
Samar Brick is clapping her fingers like this right now.
She says, so remember, mind the old ways when you're in the lowlands, and please come back to us safely. And take care of the old man. And she motions towards Jakob.
Okay.
Thora will bend down on one knee and take her tiny hand in both hers and lean her head against her hands and will say thank you for giving us these precious gifts and looking out for us on our dangerous journey that we have ahead of us.
She smiles at you. Don't think the lowlands are so perilous, though. Enjoy your time there. You just need to be mindful.
We will definitely heed your words.
As you finish up in the garden, you can see that Jacques has helped brother Jakob awkwardly up onto a pony, and already the brother is struggling to keep the thing in line, sort of. And Jacques looks to the three of you. Does anyone else need a boost?
No, thank you. But that was very noble of you. You know, kind of looks at him.
He smiles.
Thank you.
He says, "I've never been into the Krullian lowlands. This should be exciting."
keep a sharp eye. I think it's going to be dangerous. And as she mentioned, pay heed to the old ways.
Yeah, he says, I don't know what that means.
Either do I.
he smiles very confidently, learning that he's not the only one sort of in the dark on that you also aren't sure what that means. And he climbs up onto his sturdy pony, and I assume the three of you mount up and begin on your way. So one of these hexes, I've got the map, is 12 miles, and you'll be able to cover about 3 of those, so 36 miles on horseback in a day, assuming that the riding isn't too rough. There is a trail. It's not on our big map because we're too zoomed out at this point, but there is a trail that follows the Darkwood River south towards Grendel, and once you cross a bridge in Thornton, you're able to pick up that trail quite easily and begin making your way south.
Okay, so Barry Godmother is at the Abbey.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
Which I'll ping the map way up here.
Got it.
Okay. So you're now following a just imagine the trail. It's not necessarily directly beside the Darkwood River, but it sort of runs basically, the trail runs basically parallel to the Darkwood River as you begin to move south. Okay? And you make relatively good time today on the trail. You do not pass any, there's no one else on the trail going either way. But you can see that the trail is used. There are ruts from wagons that have passed in not that long ago, within the last few days. But you find it pretty lonely on the road today. And Jacques is incredibly chatty as he moves down the road, specifically with Brother Jakob, and you can tell that Brother Jakob very quickly falls into the role of teacher, which he once did at the capital with Jacques, and the two of them sort of, I would assume, trail behind you. Can you give me an idea of like what the horse marching order would be here?
I'll be up front.
Okay. So
I'll definitely be somewhere in the center.
Thor is in the lead.
If Thora goes into the front and is giving an appearance of she wants to lead this thing, off to her left, just like back just a little bit.
Okay.
Just close.
Sounds good.
I'll keep my eye out, and then I'll have Jacques stay with Silas, near Silas with Jakob.
Fine. I'll probably be up on my just on my horse, looking at Jacques next to me, going, just kind of thinking back to some of the stuff he said. I'll be kind of just watching him a little bit.
Yeah, even with Brother Jakob, sometimes he makes some assumptions, like he did about your magic. Brother Jakob, for the most part, gently corrects in what he believes is the the proper way of thinking. It's nothing too glaring, but it's clear that Jacques has grown up in an area of the kingdom where these beliefs about magic and even prophecy are, things that are viewed suspiciously and not trusted. So you follow the winding trail southward as it snakes through rolling hills where scattered copses of gnarled trees lean in the wind uneasily. And as the sun begins to dip in the west and the land ahead begins to sink not only into shadow, but the hills begin to sink into the Crolian lowlands. On either side of the path, tall grasses yellowed by the summer heat whisper dryly in the breeze. Above the lowlands ahead, though, ominous gray clouds gather and heavy storms appear to be on the horizon. A low rumble of thunder rolls across the land, deep and hollow but distant. And the party finds a decent place by trailside to make camp. I'd like to sort of go through, and this will sort of set the tone for the campaign, for the adventure, what our camps look like. So clearly Jacques takes on the role of gathering some firewood. He probably already has some kindling with him on his pony, but he takes care of getting that ready. He also takes pride in getting like water boiling or food cooking, as these are things that squires are expected to do, and he wants to, sort of be a, not really, I don't want to say stereotypical, but just like a prime example of a squire doing his duty. So he gets all of that rolling. What does camp look like for the rest of you? Like, tell me a little bit about what you do, and then we can sort of address if watches are taken. Like, do you find would we find your character reading, writing? Would we find your character whittling wood or sharpening blades? You tell me. What does a day in camp with your character look like?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So Thora, she will be using her Deerstalker ability. She will be finding, shelter and food, and she will be determining, the direction of where we need to travel the next morning. Outdoor survival skills. Anything she catches, food-wise, she'll bring back for Jock to cook. And she makes sure that Brute is comfortable and well fed, where he can travel another long distance tomorrow.
Okay. All right. And I'm just going to refresh my mind here on the Deerstalker, and we might come back to that. But who would like to go next?
I can go. Silas, for the most part, probably takes somewhere close to the campfire. Probably finds like some sort of way to like lean up against something and kind of lay down in the dirt. He's going to reach for one of the more different books that he keeps on his little, as Sir Timothy has put it, but one of his book bras. But takes out one of his books, starts writing into it. This one is a little bit older than the other book. You can tell the other one is kind of the one that he uses to practice spells in and things like that. Lots of repetitive script reading and memorization. This one's just old, and he's just circling and highlighting things. A lot of it is kind of what the last couple words, and occasionally he probably just is muttering to himself, "She did it herself. She lies. She did it herself." Kind of thinking of the same words that he heard the former brother Jakob talk about before we left.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Vagard?
Yep. So, being part of the fleur-de-lis, and probably being a soldier before then to get selected into it, he's gonna immediately go into his priorities of work. So he'll put Jacques in the center of the camp, and then assess security all the way around it using detect evil as well. So he'll just go out about 5 to 25 feet from the camp, stare in one direction, detect evil, go around, detect evil, and just look, listen, and kind of establish that, making sure Jacques, as he's doing these things, kind of watches him as I do this as well. Put the horses and stuff like that. Then the next thing would just be who's gonna not hold security, but go on watch.
Yep.
At what time? Always to offer up the first and the first and last watch for myself. As I sleep, I'll stay up, and I'll tap someone on the shoulder to probably between Jacques and I, I'll have him awake when I'm awake as well, just to get him used to staying up. And then beyond then, just trying to think of, if something happens, where's a place to kind of fall back and leave from, making sure people can't see us, make sure we're off the road. Someone could just pass by, and those things.
Okay.
And then And then if everyone, then the transition while everybody's kind of up and someone does pull security, right? I'll do a paladin.
Okay.
I'll go off to the side.
The Jacques does his duty to try to make everyone feel as comfortable as possible. It's somewhat annoying at times. I'll be honest. Like, it's almost like if you'd like to be left alone, he does not always take that hint so easily. And but everyone feels like he's got your best. He means well. He means well, and he tries to get the camp up and running as quickly as possible. And then also, when things finish up, if there's any teardown that can happen before the next dawn comes, he's doing that. Brother Jakob says a prayer as the sun sort of sinks into the western sky each night. He and you all overhear it. He invites anyone that would like to join. He does follow the god of the sun god here. He says, as your golden chariot sinks beyond the world's edge, I offer thanks for your warmth, your guidance, your strength. Watch over us in this coming night. Lend your glow to the moon and the stars, that shadows may not wholly claim the earth. Let my heart burn with your embers, that I may carry your light within until dawn's promise breaks anew. By your grace may we endure the dark and rise with you unbroken in the morning. And this is he takes this is not something he takes lightly. Like, clearly each night as the sun just dips below the horizon, he would recite this prayer to Orion, the god of light and knowledge, and he does that before doing anything else. Like, he'll literally stop what he's doing to do this. So that first night, as everyone sort of gets comfortable, and the campfire is crackling in amongst you, and the horses have been fed and watered and are comfortably standing close by. Brother Jakob says to Silas, I believe I know your master, Astus. It's been some time since I've seen him, but when I lived in the capital, he and I chatted somewhat regularly, as I recall him at that time just sort of making his way into the order of the illuminated quill. I assume from your token and your reasoning for coming here that you yourself are part of the illuminated quill.
I have taken great interest in some of their studies. I would not say I'm particularly part of their order. I just have happened to been helping Astus through a time when he would, after the fever that almost took him, and I bonded with him very well. But no, I am not part of the Quill, though I do respect some of their work.
The plague was dark times on these lands, and many struggled and suffered, and regardless of rich or poor or good or evil, wicked men. Very difficult times, he says. He then looks across to Thora, and he says, and you have come a far way across the Krullian Sea. The plains of Galengard are some distance. Do you not miss them?
I do, when I am alone some nights, but this is my journey, and I will see it through, no matter how far I travel.
Very, very, very admirable. Many people of these lands, not so much in the lowlands, but closer to Kingsgate, many people there actually have a great amount of lineage from Galengard. They may live here in the kingdom, but they have ancestors that came north during the Orc Wars and never left. You may find kin amongst many people here that don't even realize they can draw their origins back to Galengard.
Well, when I do happen to come across them, we can definitely sit down and, tell our stories.
And
see how far our lineage goes back.
And Vagard, is the capital still as stuffy and crowded? There are advantages living out in the countryside like this, I must tell you.
It is beautiful and refreshing to be out here.
Sewage.
In the city, it is busy.
The city's sewage always bothered me. And he smiles.
Because, you get used to it.
Of course.
But the king is there.
Yes. And he looks at Jacques. This is spoken like a true Kingsguard, you see, boy. Always with mind on his king. Don't let it blind you, though.
What's that?
Don't let it blind you, Vagard.
Well, I'll stay focused to make sure the sun never sets on Cara. And I'll help through the chariot's grace. Keep him and all of you alive.
He smiles. He says, "You have not changed since you were a boy. You spouted such righteousness then, too."
You never know.
You knew him when he was a boy.
I knew him before he could count. Taught him his numbers and his letters. Him and the king, for that matter. This one, Vagard, always the stronger one, though, physically. The king was a softer boy. That's not to be considered a detriment to his character, but just an observation.
You'll be
Were you
excited to
close
see
to the
you.
king's family? Vagard, if you do not mind me asking, I did not learn much on our travels here, but were you close with the king's family?
I was close with the king. We were mates when we were younger. I would visit often. We would play together. We lived closely, as his father was the king. And then as he inherited the throne, I took my place at his side, defending him with the royal guard.
The king's father was a distant man. He did not make friends easily. He always dwelt on if he was being lied to, or it's difficult being a king, believe it or not, I would say. You never know if people are giving you their true face, their true person, and that weighed heavily on Takar's father. Whatever the case, we'll have many more nights to talk on these things, and I feel my old bones creaking to sleep. Do you need me for a watch this eve, Vagard?
No, your prayer, and the rest of us, will pull security.
I would not think you need to worry too much until we reach the lowlands. We're still north of Tesnal, and things should be all right here.
Well, that being said, we'll at least practice for the security that we'll need to have as we get into the bog. It's a good principle and standard to practice like we play.
As as he gets up, he sort of groans and he taps Jacques on the shoulder and he says, "You see, always the protector, always." And he chuckles to himself as he moves over to his bedroll. And as he does that, Jacques sort of yawns, clearly tired, and says, "Vegard, if it's okay with you, I'll retire as well, unless you'd like me to take first watch."
No, you sleep.
So he moves off, checks the horses one more time to make sure they've finished their feed, and then he too retires. Anyone else want to do anything else, or do we want to jump into watches and who is taking watch and who is not taking watch? Or you tell me.
I'll take the first one. Oh,
I will take a watch.
Okay.
No, I'll take a watch. It doesn't matter which one I take.
I will probably split my time between them, if that's possible. Just probably a little conversation with both Vegard and Thora.
Okay.
Take middlesies.
Yeah, I think Silas would be interested in learning a little bit about them both, especially knowing that your family was a little closer to the king. So.
Okay. So there's a little bit of chatting between the watches. Through Vegard's watch and through Silas's watch, the storms to the south, you continually see flashes of lightning and low sort of booming of thunder. But the storm doesn't appear to be moving north. It just appears to be passing over the lowlands to the south of you. And by the time it's Thora's turn to take watch, the storms have pushed off to the east, and you can't see or hear them any longer. When the sun rises, Thora, you have done some of using your deer stalking. It says no rolls required. It just takes a little bit of time. So you put in some time and maybe caught a little bit of game, maybe some rabbits or something like that, and they'll make for decent dinner tonight. The Jacques offers to clean them and dress them once camp is made tonight. Can I have Thora give me a wisdom check, please?
Yeah. Let's see. Ooh, that's a 1.
Okay.
Not starting off great.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So everybody mounts up, and the ride continues. Father Jakob tells you that he would suspect that you'll make it south of Tesnol today. You won't actually see Tesnol because you're traveling along the river, but he tells you that will place you firmly in the lowlands as it sits on the most southern edge. So sure enough, the hills begin to decline, and they become less and less steep. And that's when you all begin to catch the faint scent of a fire. Not like a little campfire. There is the smell of smoke and sort of charcoal on the wind. And the horses smell it as well, and with the exception of Brute, a couple of them maybe react a little bit to it. They become a little more, a little more difficult with you, obviously being bothered by it. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. We got words singing here. I don't want that. We want the other one. There we go. So as you move forward, you can start to see a trail or two of smoke in the sky as well. It's not. The trail will pass you just east of it. It's further inland than where you are. Brother Jacobs says, "Do we all see that?" And he motions to these thin, twisting sort of snakes of smoke rising into the air.
Well, there's people who live here, correct? Is that, do I have like an insight of like
Yeah, there would be all kinds of farmsteads and that down through this area.
Yeah. Smoke like a burning house, or smoke like...
If it's from a burning house, if it's far more than a campfire. If it's from a burning house, it's like a house that maybe burnt last night or late afternoon. It's not like a fully involved fire.
Maybe we should trot over and check it out. Are you guys comfortable with me checking this out? Would anybody like to? I would just feel wrong if someone was in distress.
Yes, let's be on guard though. I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, if you guys take a moment, you know what I mean? Like I'll hop off and tie up the chainmail and stuff like, and same with Jacques as well. I'll tell him to suit up and there we go.
Oh, we can't hear you, Jimmy.
Yeah, I muted myself. Thank you. He tightens a few straps, gets his shield off his back, and he looks anxious, nervous, maybe even.
Should be okay, but we just want to be safe.
So as you move in that direction, you're off the trail for a bit. There's no road or path here, and then up ahead you can see a farmstead crouch beside another trail, and it's a silent witness to violence now past. There's two buildings, a simple cottage and a timber-framed barn. They both still stand, though both bear the cruel marks of fire. Their thatched roofs are blackened and collapsed, and the walls pockmarked with jagged holes where the flames broke through. The scent of char and ash cling heavy here, and the breeze only does a little bit to sort of dissipate them. Around the yard, scorched debris lies scattered. The charred remains of a cart, a split barrel, a child's toy half burnt in the soot. The grass near the structures has been burnt to black stubble. A few crows hopping around the wreckage, pecking at whatever has been left behind. Nailed to an oak tree as you approach, you see a weathered parchment flutter in the breeze. The ink has begun to run from last night's dew, but the words remain legible. False threads are purged in the name of the Pale Blade.
I would like to see if I can detect disposition on any of the town folk there.
At this distance, you don't see any bodies to do that on.
Okay.
You do see some crows around pecking at stuff, though, so maybe there are corpses down there in the mix. But at this distance, you don't see any.
So let me get this straight. This is Treskel that is...
No, this is not Tresnel. This would be one of its...
This
would be a farmstead to the east of Tesnel.
Last of the Mohicans. Got it. All right.
And these would be pretty common throughout the area, right? And there would just be an interworking set of trails that sort of connect them all to one another.
Okay. Well, I'll stay mounted and move into the center between the house and the barn and do a quick detect evil and scan.
Okay. Let's jump over onto a new map.
Ruh-roh.
New map.
Hopefully I've
That's not good.
Hopefully
Wait a minute.
No.
There's a drawn map of this? This is not good.
So this can we all see this?
We can all see it.
Okay, so the large building at the north side here, this is the barn. And to the south, this is the house. There's a creek that runs beside the property, and you can see there's all sorts of things have been like torn apart, barrels knocked over, broken, like maybe this barrel down here on the road just south of you, you can see it was smashed open and the pickles and the brine inside lay in the sun all over the trail.
The heck is that? Oh, I'm not supposed to. That's on Twitch. Okay, I need to look. That's not good. Yeah. Oh, I can't see the map.
Can you see the map?
I can't see your map, but I can see Twitch. Does that make sense? I can't see.
Oh, you can't see it on.
See
okay, hold on a second. Let me see what the error here is, and I'll see if I can correct that.
Okay. I see it now, sir.
Is everybody else able to see it on Roll20 or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And everybody's free to move their characters around as well if they'd like. So if you want to just to show me where you're investigating. So
I'll go.
Yeah. So Vagard moves up and he can see a body laying down here just outside of the house.
I'll point, and look at Thor and Silas, like it's obvious that, and just
it's
the head shake, like
it's relatively fresh. The person, like you can see red blood. The crows haven't gotten at it.
I will go up next to Vagard, and I'll start. Yeah, I think I'll start like examining the body a bit, kind of going through it, see what claw marks or.
Okay, so you move right up here, and
Yep.
and as you get closer, you can see that it is a man. He is middle-aged and clearly has lived a life of working on the farm. Like he is pretty svelte. He's a strong looking fellow, and he lies on the ground, and he looks like he has been stabbed at least 3 times by spears by the look of the wounds. And to your astonishment, you notice that his chest is rising and falling ever so slightly.
Would someone that has been stabbed with a spear 3 times be inclined to still be alive at this point?
If he, I
Or
mean,
do I have to dig
you
deeper?
know, you feel like he's probably holding on just by the very, like, just holding on to whatever life is left in him.
1, 2, 3, 4. Vagard, quickly. He seems to
I'll
still
run
be
down
alive.
and try to pump 2 hit points into him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll offer him my lay on hands.
Okay, Jacques also starts to come forward, but seeing the man and his wounds, and him never really being in a situation like this before, he suddenly gets very timid, and he makes sure that he stays back a healthy distance. But he is curious and watching.
Nope, I'll say shock. Come here. It just, yep. I want him up there with me. I want him like stand right over my shoulder.
Okay. What's Thor? I'm assuming everybody has dismounted, and I'm going to say that their horses are just back a bit, as nobody said they were riding up. But Thor, I know that you and Brute are like a combo. So, what are you doing? Are you just standing back and keeping an eye out, or you tell me?
Thora will move Brute. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I grabbed the map and not my token.
That's okay.
Thora will be moving Brute more towards this way, towards she can see the other side of
Yeah, absolutely.
the barn and see if she sees anybody.
Yeah. As you ride around the other side of the hovel, you can see sort of like a front porch, and there is another body laying just partially hidden by the porch. You see like a set of legs sticking out from behind the porch, and this body though not only looks wounded but also burnt quite badly, and is clearly not alive. This is a woman, though, unlike the man that the other two have found.
As Thora and Brute go by, I'll be like, Thora, be on guard. It seems they have spears and weapons. Whatever happened here, I do not know if they are still around. Speaking of which, can I tell, is there footprints leading in and out? Did there seem to be a scuffle? I mean, obviously there was some sort of scuffle, but...
Yeah, give me an intelligence check.
Sure. Intelligence is a primary.
Nice. That's
Yay.
good. That's good. That means the DC is much lower.
Yep.
Chippy's laying in my lap. And, like, I'm off.
+2. Okay. Nah, 7, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can't. Well, you can tell that the ground is pretty packed down here, but you can't tell if that's from just the fact that this is a farmstead and people would be walking here all the time, but the way that the debris is scattered about, there was clearly a good number of people here. So as Vhagar steps in and lays on hands and calls on the powers of the good pantheon, the man's wounds close a bit, and he takes a much deeper breath. He tries to sit up, but his injuries are pretty severe. He says, he looks at you through eyes that are, you've seen men die before, Vhagar. The healing has brought him back enough that he's going to talk. He's able to talk, but you don't think he's probably got internal injuries that your 2 hit points cannot heal.
Plot. He has plot disease.
I like that. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna plot disease.
Serious case of the plot disease.
He says, is she here?
Yeah, who?
My girl, is she here?
Younger? Daughter? We'll find her. Who did this? Quickly.
They wore white cowls and called themselves the Pale Blade. He coughs, and a little bit of blood comes out from his mouth. My daughter had a mark. And they took her.
We'll find her. Rest. Which way did they go?
He points generally to the other side of the house, like to the west.
I was like, Thora. You know what I mean? And just kind of point in that direction. I'll stay with him.
Thora, as you sit on top of Brute, he becomes uneasy. And you can't see anything, but you and Brute have been friends long enough that you trust his senses, and you feel like someone or something is near. He's very sort of agitated.
She will lean over and, pat his neck and try and calm him down. Can I do a check to see if I can hear or see anything or smell it, like use my senses to see if I can?
Yeah, I'll give you a wisdom check for that. Go ahead and make that.
Okay. All right. That's an 8. Non-prime. Or I'm sorry. 7 with my level. No, 9 with my level.
9 in total?
Math.
Yeah, you don't hear or see anything. but he's stomping at the ground and sort of pulling at whatever rein you have on him, and he acts like this before, like you maybe witnessed him do this before you fought the frogmen, the gigs. Yeah.
I take that very seriously, and I call over to the others to have your guard up heavily.
Yep.
Brute is sensing something that I can't see, I can't hear, I can't smell. I don't know how close they are.
At that point, you guys hear it almost sounds like a whistling sound from the western side of the farmstead, and a number of stones fly from the wood, and someone has thrown sling stones at Thora. We'll see if any of them hit. Let's see here. I've got a 10 that clearly doesn't hit. A 13. I don't think that hits your armor class, does it? And 2 more. Oh, I rolled the same for those. 11 and 11. So a bunch of stones fly past you and Brute as a group of bedraggled and sort of haggard-looking men charge forward from the woods. And we're gonna do our first initiative here. So we're gonna do initiative a little different tonight than we did last time. So what we'll do is we will have one person roll initiative for the entire party. So if Mox rolls for round 1, then when we get to round 2, Thora will roll for the entire party, and then when we get to round 3, Vagard will roll for the entire party. And when it's your turn to roll initiative, you can use your bonuses for that initiative. And then I will also roll for the bad guys. And then if you win initiative, then everyone will get to go, and I will let you decide in what order best suits your party for going first. So if you're like, hey, we should have our spellcaster go first, then that's fine. We can let them go first, okay?
Okay.
So remember that we roll a D10 for initiative. And a large gang of men emerge from the woods. They are carrying farm implements like sickles and clubs, and they have no armor on, just sort of clothing, but it looks like they've been out in the woods for a great deal of time. This is not, they are not fresh in any, sort of stretch of imagination. And there's 10 of them. They also have, some of them have slings in their hands as well, as they sort of begin to come up and out of the woods. So, who's going to roll initiative first for the party? Who wants to do that?
Go ahead, Thora. Yeah.
I'll do it.
Okay,
I'll do it.
Okay, Thora, you're going to roll initiative, and I'm going to roll for the men that are emerging.
Get down. I've got to fight.
Okay.
What'd you get?
You want me to roll first?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll D10 plus your dex bonus.
5.
A 5, so...
D10 plus my...
Plus-
6 with my dex bonus.
Well, then you won, because I rolled a 5 too. So it was going to be a tie, but no, you guys get first go. So what would you like to do? Thora can see them coming up and out. Can we see them on the map there? The guys with the red circles?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's a lot of guys with a lot of red circles.
Are they wearing these white cowls now?
No, they're not. They're not wearing white cowls at all. They're wearing like something that you would expect peasants or farmers to wear, but it looks like they've been out in the woods for a very long time. Like, they're filthy. Their hair overgrown. Nothing about them is well kept. And it looks like they look cold and tired as they come out. They don't at all look battle ready, but they definitely intend, like, you You're not like, well, maybe they're coming to just say hi. They certainly mean to cause harm. They have weapons brandished, sling stones flying, and yes.
Do they look like they're in control of their own self?
I will let you make a wisdom check on that, because I think that would be difficult to tell at this particular junction. But go ahead and give me a wisdom check.
That's a 10.
A 10?
Prime.
Yeah, you're not sure. You're not sure. I will say that you don't think they look particularly mentally healthy.
Okay. At that, I will call to the rest of my party to grab your weapons and get in battle-ready stance, as there's a horde of these things coming. And I will unmount Brute.
Okay.
And get out my bastard sword.
All right. And you ready, or are you going to move forward?
Yeah, I will.
I'll let you know. I'm coming with you. Like, if you go up, I'm like, I'm with you. Like,
yeah, I will. Oh, I will move forward to here.
Okay.
And I will wait.
All right. So that was our full move, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. Yeah, okay. So you run up and prepare yourself. How about the rest of us? The good brother makes his move up beside the horse here. He has a mace.
I want Jack to follow me.
Yep. Silas will go, like, I think there's an area over here or something like that that's got like some, like just some equipment to hide behind a little bit.
Yeah, you want to get cover there behind the wreckage, and yeah.
Just kind of give myself a little bit of cover, and then I will start getting ready to cast some magic on my next turn.
Yeah.
Can we dash? Is dash?
You can double move. Yes, absolutely.
I will double move then.
So in Castles and Crusades, if you want to attack, you can only make a half move and then attack. If you make a full move or a double move and still want to attack, you can, but that's considered a charge. And your armor class, you'll get a bonus to hit, but your armor class will suffer for it. Okay. All right. So I think we've all gone here. So now they go. Thora, this one keeps its distance from you. Far more interested in the horse.
Oh.
Now they fucked up.
Now they did it, didn't
Yep. They done did it.
They done did it.
Where's Silas?
He's up to the north.
Oh, I see him.
I'm like, yep.
Yeah,
right
he's
here.
behind Brute.
I love that we have a big map here, but I do need to zoom out kind of to show everybody. So sorry, Chad, if it makes everything look really small, but we're getting there. Okay, so let's start with some attacks here. So two of them approach Thora. They're swinging. One swings a club, one swings a sickle. The sickle only got a 9 to hit. The club might have hit you. 15?
Yeah, that hit.
That hit. So managed to get a lucky shot in. 2 points of damage.
All right.
The same on Vagard. The sickle got a 12, and the guy with the club got a 14.
Both miss.
Both miss. The one attacks Brute with a sickle, and got a 12, which does not hit Brute. His armor class is 13. And then the 4 guys at the back, they all fire sling bullets into your back rank. So I'm going to say 2 sling stones at Brother Jakob and 2 sling stones at Silas. So at Brother Jakob, one definitely doesn't hit, and then a lucky shot gets through with a natural 20 on him. So Jakob takes a stone right off the forehead. It draws blood. It did 6 points of damage, if you're curious. He is not down, though. And then 2 stones at Silas. Silas, because you've got cover there, though, I want you to increase your armor class by 4. So I got a 6, which I'm sure does not hit, and then I got a 13.
By 4, you said?
Yeah, by 4.
My 10 becomes a 14. My 10 becomes a 14. So.
Okay, so it literally ricochets off. Like you like jump in behind an old piece of maybe like a plow that they use for the field, and like the sling stone goes off the plow handle.
It's fun to be a wizard, everybody.
Okay, so we're gonna roll initiative again. Thor rolled last time for us. Who wants to roll this time?
Go for it, Silas.
All right, let's do this.
So a D10 plus whatever your dex bonus is, and you're gonna do well. I think I only got a 2 this time.
5.
Okay, so you guys can take your turns again. Who would like to go?
Right. If you guys don't mind, I think Silas has all been readying this spell, and he's just gonna go Magi Missile
You do it.
to probably. I want to try. So the 4 in the back. I got 150 feet on this thing. So
oh yeah, you can hit. You can hit anything on the battlefield then.
Yep. That's kind of what I wanted. All right, goody gumdrops. All right, let's go with. I'm gonna try and attack one of this guy over the one to the left of Thor over here.
I like it. Okay.
Yep.
How much damage? D4 plus 1.
Yo. 3 plus 1, 4 points of damage.
Yeah. Describe your magic missile again. I can't remember how you described it last time.
So just kind of like a strong, like kind of almost like a green, almost like a lightning bolt, kind of, but crystallized. And then he just kind of directs it, spins it, and then kind of directs it to hit the one next to Thora, pretty close, like almost like center shot of the body there.
Mm-hmm. And with 4 points of damage, it strikes him stone dead as it hits him, and he drops to the ground. And you notice that all of these crazed men that drew their attention when they see the spell fire off.
Help! Help!
I'm gonna have Jakob move up and attack this guy. Does not hit.
Protect my horse.
Do you want Brute to attack?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll a d20, and you're going to add 3 to hit.
That's a dirty 20.
Nice. And then with his hooves, he does a d4 plus 1.
D4. Max damage.
So there is a horrible crack sound as Brute's hoof catches this man just beneath the jaw line, and his head darn near comes off his body as he falls to the ground. Vagard, I think.
Okay, is there music playing?
There is some music playing. Do you not hear it?
So I went into.
No, I got nothing on my end.
I hear it, and it's giving me goosebumps.
There we go.
Try refreshing your browser, Mox. It might come up. If not, I can stop and restart it. That sometimes does the trick too. Okay. All right, Vagard.
I'm gonna be swinging on these guys that are right there. And that's just a D20 plus 2 for my strength, I'm guessing.
Is your strength plus 2?
Yes.
Yep. So D20 plus 2. Because no one has a bonus to hit yet. We're just babies.
God. And I missed horribly.
Okay. So you swing and miss. And your young squire steps up beside you and attacks with his spear. Oh, no, horrible. I only got a 3, so he totally whiffs on that too. Thora, you're all that's left to go.
I'm going to use one of my class abilities, Intimidate.
Oh, nice.
So they get a -2 to all of their combat rolls.
Yeah.
Attribute checks and saves.
and that affects everyone within a 15-foot radius. So I don't know if you want to move to make that a little more effective. It would get this guy... I would get 3 of them.
I'll take the 3. I do not want a chance for an opportunity attack.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit with my...
Yep.
Try and hit with my bastard sword.
So, first of all, the Intimidate we need to do a Constitution check for.
Constitution check. Okay. They do?
You do. You make a Constitution check.
Oh, I do.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. That is 14.
14. And is Constitution a prime for you? I think it is, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah. It would be adjusted by their hit dice. It's not high enough. And you can actually, I just read that you can only intimidate 1 target.
One.
One per level. But he's intimidated.
Sweet. Okay. I'm going to hit him with my bastard sword, and this is 2-handed.
Nice.
I don't think that'll hit. Yeah, that's a 4.
No. He's so frightened by you that he sort of stumbles back and just sort of luckily avoids the blade. Okay.
Should be scared that went after my horse.
Their turn now. 2 on Vagard. No. 10 and 13. I don't think that hits Vagard, right?
They do not hit, sir.
And then these 4 at the back, seeing the spellcaster advance on him.
Help me!
3, 4, 5.
There's the music.
You got it?
I think it's fading in and out. It's weird.
Does it? Maybe I can turn it up here. Okay. So let's start with there are 2 on Brother Jakob as well. This time Brother Jakob is not hit. And then on Thora, the intimidated one. So I would have had a 14, but that drops it to a 12 because of the -2. And then the other one got a 13 to hit. I don't think either hit, right?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Nicely done. Nicely done. And then the 3 throw... the 2 that are not in combat are going to fire slings at Silas again. A natural 1, so that doesn't hit. And then a 12, so that does hit. Oh no, with the +4 armor class, you've got cover. Very good. Very good.
I'm just hiding behind farm equipment. Nope. Nope.
You're just taking it. Pew!
Magic missile. Magic missile. Heck, if I run out of mana, I'm actually here. I still have 8, but if I do run out of mana, it'll be funny. The only way that I hurt myself is by spending my own life to cast magic.
I mean, you've got a magic apple to eat. You could totally do that.
I'm just sitting there eating a magic apple and shooting magic missiles. It's great.
So it's initiative, and I think it's Vagard's turn to roll initiative for us. D10 plus your dexterity bonus. Ooh, I rolled quite well. A 7.
I got a 9.
Look at you. Look at you. So you guys can go again. I'll roll forward the NPCs quick to see what they do. That might help you decide. Oh, the young squire lands a spear blow and runs this guy through. So I'm gonna say he lets out a ferocious battle cry, and the spear just finds itself deep in this guy's gut, and he seems almost not sure what to do. He's been, he fought spiders, and maybe he's fought other things, but you don't think he's fought men before. And he just keeps pushing against the man, and the 2 of them stumble back past you, and then finally the man lies on the ground. Brother Jakob swings his mace, does not hit. Do we want Brute to attack again?
Yeah, I'll attack the one that's next to.
Yeah, let's roll D20 plus 3 for Brute's hooves.
That is going to be a 22 to hit.
Look at Brute taking it to them. So a D4 plus 1.
That is 3 points of damage.
Ooh, somehow he manages. It's just a glancing blow. So, this guy is barely on his feet, but clearly wounded. Who would like to go now? Vhagar, Thora, Silas?
I got a 14 to hit.
14 is a hit.
9 damage.
Nice. You put him right over this broken cart here. And almost cleave him in two with your sword attack. You're welcome to move half if you want. Half your movement.
Okay, I'll start.
As you don't have anyone beside you. And Thora?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and hit the one intimidated.
Yeah, absolutely.
With my bastard sword. That's going to be a 7. God.
A 7, that does not hit.
Better than me.
That does not hit. Silas, you're all that's left for Team Good Guy.
Okay, so I'm being targeted, and I need to play smart.
I'll put a blue dot on the two guys with their sling stones. So the two guys with the blue dots, they're the ones that are really moving your way.
Can I just do like some sort of like free action to just look and see, is the doors back in this back house open, or are they closed?
They are open. That's the barn, and there's a large open gaping hole where the barn doors were. Prior to the fire, of course.
Alright, because they moved pretty fast up. I could kill another... No, I think I'm just going to protect myself a little bit more here. I'll probably just double hoof it inside the barn somewhere.
Okay. So you retreat back towards the barn?
Yeah.
And get inside?
Yeah. I'm hiding in a barn.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. That's all of you, so they get to go now. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These two guys scoot off after 1, 2, 3. Actually, this guy will get caught by the horse, so he's going to have to stay there. And I'm going to say he attacks Brute. Ooh, an 18 hits Brute. He deals 3 points of damage to Brute. Just so you know, Brute has 30 hit points.
Mm-hmm. So
barely a scratch. Barely a scratch. Two are on Brother Jakob. One did manage to land another blow for another 2 points of damage to Brother Jakob. He's seen better days, but he's not dead yet. And then 2 on Thora. The intimidated one, a 12, and the unintimidated one, a 7. So those didn't hit either. So that brings us back to initiative, and I think Mox is rolling initiative for us. Mox, you can see that one of the men is no longer pursuing you as he's gotten tied up with the horse. But from your hiding place inside the barn, a crazed-looking man with a sickle is approaching. Who would like to roll initiative? I think it's Mox's turn, actually, right? Mox's turn to roll initiative? Or is it Thora's turn? Thora, we've gone around once, haven't we?
Yeah. I think it's back to me.
Yep, Thora's turn.
5.
5. I got a 6. So these nasty people go. 1 attack on the horse. Doesn't hit. 2 attacks on Brother Jakob. Both of them hit him this time. Oh my goodness. You see Brother Jakob fall. He's not dead, but they're overpowering him, and he's now on the ground in sort of a defensive-like position. 2 on Thora. The first one, which is intimidated, that's only a 5, and then the one that's not intimidated, an 18. This is turning out to be a pretty good round for Team Bad Guy. 2 more points there, Thora.
Okay.
And this guy rushes into the barn after you, there, Silas. With the debris in that's fallen in the barn, I will give you an armor class bonus of 2. Not as good as the farm implements you were hiding behind. As he stumbles over debris, he takes a swing at you. Oh, a nat 1. I'm going to say that in the attempt to get you, he reaches over and he actually falls prone beside you. Your guy's turn. Let's start with Silas. What's he going to do? He's got this crazed man on the ground beside him.
I mean, I don't have anything else. Let me just check one thing. Okay. You know what? No, I'd rather worry about if they're being controlled later. I'm going to take I'll just shoot a magic missile right at him, and he's down next to me.
Yep.
I'll just
Point blank. You just put a magi missile into him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put my hand on top of his head and then.
Oh, I like it. How much damage?
4 + 1.
Nice. There's an explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's not moving anymore. And he probably doesn't have much of a face left. Back to outside the barn. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next. I'm itching to hit something.
Okay, let's see. Let's make this work.
I rolled a 1.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
Okay, rolling a 1, I'm going to say that, like, you bring the bastard sword around and you just misjudge the distance between them. And you and the guy that you intimidated are now in a bit of a grapple. You're all twisted together and he's at very close range with you. It would be difficult for you to hit him with a bastard sword. Vhagar, what are you going to do? I love that the helmet mask is down, by the way. Can we hear you like that, though? I don't think so. Unless you're muted.
Oh, I was muted.
I'm like, that is a good mask for muffling your voice, because I can't hear anything.
Sorry.
I was like, what is going on? Is he talking? Is he not?
Yeah, I was just frozen.
That was great.
But I'll hit this guy.
Yeah, and I will give you a +2 to hit him because he does not see you coming. He's so he's got Brother Jakob on the ground in front of him, and him and his buddy are so focused on getting him down.
I would like to say this is my first natural 20 of the campaign, so that's pretty tight.
Nice. So for a nat 20, we're just going to roll damage normally and then double it.
Yeah.
So double what I roll here? Okay.
Yeah, roll, add your bonuses, and double, please.
So 3, 6. I roll a 1 on the damage and a nat 20. How disappointing.
Well, you know what? 6 is enough. This guy doesn't even see you coming, and you come up behind him and just clobber him. Down he goes. Down he goes. Anyone who sort of can see Jacques is shell-shocked a little bit. He's looking at this downed man, his spear in him, and he pulls at the spear, but it doesn't come out of the wound, and at that point, the boy begins to freeze up a little bit, and he's not quite sure what to do. How about the horse, though? The horse has 2 on him. There's a wounded guy to the south of him. There's one that has not been hit to the north. So which one would you like him to attack, Thora?
The one that's already wounded.
Okay. And we're going to add +3 to this.
Be 15.
That is a hit. And a d4 + 1 worth of damage. This poor bugger only has 1 hit point, so it's not going to matter.
Well, you got a 2.
Nice. Brute tramples him down. So I'm going to move these guys that are down just off to the side here so we can see what we're still up against. So 5 have... the 2 more down here. 7. So there's 3 left. Now, normally, in Castles and Crusades, I would probably be making what's called a morale check for these remaining creatures because their numbers have been so decimated. However, these men don't seem to be affected by the loss of their comrades at all. Mox, you are rolling initiative for us. And I have a 9 this time.
5, unfortunately.
Okay. So these two are going to attack Thora again. I think I have a hit. The one that was intimidated missed miserably, and then with the intimidation would miss even worse. But I got an 18 with the other guy.
Yep.
3 points of damage.
Alright.
And the other one attacks your horse. And also hits. for another 2 points of damage on Brute. Okay. Your guy's turn. Who would like to go first?
Go ahead if you got it.
Yeah, I'll move to Thora's left and take this other guy since he's closer.
Oh, yes, that would be Thora's left. I moved you to
Another nat 20.
Nice! Don't sound so surprised.
Max damage. It's 16 plus.
Nice. Yeah, this is a particularly brutal kill. Feel free to describe if you'd like.
Yes, so she's grappled with this other dude.
Yeah.
And, you know, she can see from her peripherals as a sword goes, like, mouth to back of skull.
Nice.
With this other guy.
Nice. Just obliterating him. So there's no longer a grapple there with Thora. The young squire finally pulls his spear out and runs up behind this intimidated and attacks. Does not hit, unfortunately. Thora?
I'm not grappled anymore, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. A dirty 20.
Nice. How much damage? The first hit from Thora of the battle.
Yeah, no freaking kidding. Jesus Christ. That's 3 points of damage.
3?
Mm-hmm.
He's not dead. He's wounded, though. And your horse?
Oh. Yep. That is a 14.
That is a hit. How much damage?
And that is 3 points of damage.
Ooh, he's not quite dead yet either. So, Brother Jakob gets up. He's still got a little bit of movement left, and he will move... 2, 3. He's going to move here. And he unfortunately has moved too much to attack this round, but yeah. So, Silas...
Silas will take, like, seeing the creature in front of him, he's going to come back to it later, but he is going to step out of the building.
Yep.
And just, that's all I can do for now, but probably still keep his distance a bit, but sees that the combat is slowly kind of winding down, but prepares to shoot one more magic missile.
Okay.
Magi missile.
Sounds good. You can call it whatever you want. We're not going to fuss. We know what it is. Okay. Is that everybody? I think we're back to initiative, and it's Vagard's turn.
Sir.
You got an easy one, Vagard. It's only 3.
3. We tied.
We tied, so this will happen simultaneously. If you bring a kill, if a kill happens, they'll still get to take their turn. I'll let you guys go first, though.
Okay.
Shall we let
go ahead?
Shall we let Thora try to finish? Yeah, you go ahead and shoot your magic missile.
Yeah, I'll aim for this one, and
yep.
Thora, you can take care of that one, and
I feel Thora's got this one this time.
Yep.
17.
Yes, she does. How much damage?
6 points of damage.
Finishes him off. So, and that ends the combat.
Finally.
That ends the combat.
Yep. I got 4 points for him, so yeah.
So, the sounds of battle end, and the crazed men lie upon the ground. You immediately begin to notice that all of the crazed men have self-mutilated somewhat. They have cut crude circles in their body. Some have scarred over, some are relatively fresh, and all of them have this circle somewhere, though, on their body. Brother Jakob shouts about, and is everyone okay?
Thora took some damage, I believe.
I'm a little worse for wear, but I'll make it.
He prays to Orion and casts a heal light wounds on you. 6 hit points back for Thora.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
I'm going to do
back. Is the guy dead?
The guy behind the barn? The house, rather?
Man,
Yeah.
that I healed. Is he dead?
Yeah, you run back and he has passed away.
I have one more question. Okay. I didn't ask the right question. The question is, what's the mark look like?
thinking it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know.
I will do 2 things. First, quickly off to one of the creatures, kind of just an open sight now. But actually, no, I'll probably go into the ones. I'll be inside the barn very quickly. I just have something to do. I want to cast Discern Magic. Is there any lingering magic on them? Anything in particular?
Okay. There is not.
They're just... Second thing, noticing the mark. Have I ever seen anything like that? You said it was a circle?
Yeah, give me an intelligence check.
Sure.
Why can't I hear this music?
I have the same thing. I still can't hear the music, but it is what it is.
This one's kind of low. Here, I'll see if I can.
6, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're not sure what the circle is. I'll see if I can reboot my end of things, and we'll get the music back. How about we take? I noticed Thora's taking a quick break here. I could use a quick break. How about we take just a pause here, and then we'll come back. Sound good? We'll just take a 5-minute pause, and we'll everybody can use the bathroom or grab a drink or something, and we'll be right back.
As I come back.
And we're back from break. And, yeah. So the party finds themselves in this burnt-out farmstead. Bodies laying about. Each body has got a circular wound. Not a perfect circle, but a crude circle has been sort of etched into their bodies. Not in the same place either. Some of them have on arms, some on their chest, a leg. Maybe one even has it on their head.
Do they look like they were etched at the same time? Like, is the wound?
No, they don't.
Okay. These are cultists, eh? Classic. I thought it was just your average snake cult.
Is it just one?
All of them.
No, it like just one like crudely circle.
No,
on their body?
some of them you can see have healed over and they've recarved it somewhere else on their body. Like they're scarred and yeah.
But in the same spot or a different spot?
different spots. And the spot doesn't seem to have any sort of consistency.
Interesting.
Well, I'm going to go check on Brute, assess his wounds.
Yep.
Make sure he's okay.
They did get some lucky shots in on Brute. He's a little bit wounded. But no, like, he's well within a good, if we're talking game terms, he's not even below 20 hit points, so.
Do I know anything about the Order of the Pale Blade? Or is that a new...
You do know a little bit. I'm not even going to ask for an intelligence check. There are a group of knights that are based out of the town of Sanctuary, and I'm going to bring up the map here. You guys are on the overland map with me, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So we can see north of Kingsgate on the other side of the canal. On the other side of the channel, there is a town called Sanctuary, and a group of knights from that sort of originated out of that city are there. The order is known to be somewhat fanatical in their belief of prophecy. Let me just bring this up a militant order of fate-bound zealots devoted to preserving the divine pattern by eliminating arcane corruption and prophecy-born threats. They are witch hunters. They are sort of non-believers. You know that they're sort of their ranks. You know some of the names of their ranks. The lowest of their ranks are called blades. There are silken agents, which are not necessarily knights, but spies for the order. And threadbearers, and a threadbearer is something akin to an inquisitor. And they very much they very much protect the people from. In the past, they have been known to protect populations from sort of aberrant or dangerous spellcasters. However, since the coming of the prophecy, they have taken on a more zealot nature, and you in Kingsgate, there was probably plenty of rumor that like. You have to be careful because you don't know if you're still dealing with like the protectors of the people fighting back evil spellcasters, or are we dealing with sort of witch hunters and inquisitors that are seeking other spellcasters regardless of intent.
Tyranny stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll start digging a graves
Okay.
with Jacques. I'll tell him to get a shovel. Look for a shovel in the shed.
Yeah, at first you're like, find a shovel, and he's like just kind of staring at the dead.
Yep, I'll go over with him as well and just kind of squeeze his shoulder, Jacques. And this is just solely to get his mind off it. Hey, let's lay this family to rest, and then we'll burn these bodies.
He looks up at you and sort of, you think, probably had a tear coming down his face, and he wipes it away very quickly, and nods to you and goes to find a shovel.
Yeah, just trying to get him working. You know, right now it's kind of changes gears.
Yep. Jakob says to Silas, "What do you make of these? The markings familiar to you?"
The marking is not familiar, but the order that the old man mentioned.
The Pale
The order
Blade.
of the Pale Blade. Yes. When was the last time you saw them, Brother Jakob?
A company of the Pale Blade came to Darkwood Abbey maybe a month or two ago. Close to 50 in number. They were headed west. They were headed westward. My understanding was they were going to cross the river at Riverwatch and down towards Ravenport. I'll be honest with you, though, we did not track their movement, so I don't know where they're at exactly.
Why did they go to Ravenport?
They said they had business there. They were hospitable. There was no reason to be overly suspicious of them.
I'm curious then the connection between the Pale Blade and then these
I am too.
poor souls here.
These men with the circles, I almost wonder if this circle is a crude eye.
Were they looking for anything
Crude
when
eye.
they came to the Abbey? Did they ask anything?
They weren't. They stopped and rested. I believe they reprovisioned in Thornton before heading on to Riverwatch.
A crude eye as in
Yeah,
this.
I must wonder.
And you did say that one of the older is in the bog itself. One of the oldest shrines to her is in the bog.
It is an old shrine from the time when the Krull lived here.
Yes.
And our dear brother Graydon certainly was raving about things that would fall beneath the worship of Istis, certainly.
Did you hear any of these people say anything? I didn't hear anything myself.
Mumbling, nothing coherent. And you all would agree with that. No one heard them say really anything coherent. They were maybe, grunting and groaning and whatnot in the fit of battle, but nothing that was coherent language or anything.
On Brother Graydon, did you find any marking when you examined him?
No, we didn't.
They just seem oddly connected as well. Mumblings of a crazed person, mumblings of a brother there as well. Yes. He's gonna take out his book, make a couple notes, close it up, put it back onto his
Okay.
head there.
As you do that, Brother Jakob goes to help dig graves. If you dig graves, are you going to dig graves for just the two farmers, or are you going to dig graves for the crazed men as well?
Probably, but I want to. Before we get started, they took a child, correct?
Yes.
That's what
The
was
marking.
implied.
Maybe we should set aside these burial rites to get hot on the trail of where this child is taken. I think maybe
I'm in agreement. We can't stay too far behind.
Jakob says perhaps then we put them in the barn and set it ablaze.
Yeah. Is that? I'll just look at him like, is that a proper burial for all of their? You know what I mean? Like spirits to depart.
Proper or not,
Suffice?
I agree with you that we need to stay on this trail while it's still warm. The longer we wait.
Yep. I'm just playing the paladin. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
yeah. No, I'll just start carrying all as quick as possible with Jacques to rest them there.
Okay. Jakob finds some oil, lantern oil, in the farm wreckage, and uses that as extra sort of ignition. And it's not long before you have sort of a large burial pyre of the barn burning with the bodies inside. He says a short prayer at the effigy, and then goes to mount the horse, the pony rather. He's been probably dreading that, but does it all the same. And then where do you head?
Thora, I think you taking the lead on this might be best. You're more suited with land, better than I would even say any of us here. Even though this is our home, you still know nature's trails and things along that nature.
Yeah, I was gonna say, while they were, discussing,
Yep.
after she went to go check on Brute and he was, doing okay, she would have done a check on the outer parts that we didn't check before we got into that battle, just to see if there was any trails or anything else that she could have seen.
I'm not going to ask for a roll. You've got there's a fair amount of time for them to get the bodies to that, and if you're spend the time looking for that, it's not long before Thora discovers that it looks like riders, a group of riders, maybe a dozen, rode west from here.
Okay. West.
Okay.
It's okay. Huh.
So after I find that, I will go back and after Silas, asked me to lead, I will. That's actually a great idea. I know where our next heading is. It looks like a group of riders, probably a dozen or so, headed out west. I think that's where we need to go next.
Agreed. Stay
Brother
hot on the
Jakob,
trail.
Tusnol is out towards the west, isn't it?
If my bearings are correct, not far to the west, yes.
All right. I'm sure we'll find a path then that leads us.
We'll
Hopefully.
follow till nightfall and take a rest then.
Agreed. Probably off the beaten path as well. Let's not rest anywhere where we could be found.
So, being led by Thora and Brute, the party begins to move westward through the much softer hills of this area, as you are right on the border of what they would consider the lowlands and sort of the highlands of Krullian. And it's as the sun begins to dip, Jakob, asks for your pardon, but stops to say his prayer, assuming that you'll continue to ride at night. However, as the sun fades and you can hear Brother Jakob giving his prayer, all of you from horseback can begin to see light over the next hill. It looks like maybe lantern or torchlights from a settlement, likely Tesnol.
Maybe we should carry on to Tesnol. see if they're okay or if they've seen anything.
Thora, from your horseback, just to build on that, you can see that you're still on the trail. The horses, they were not trying to hide their route.
It looks like actually our group of riders went this way, so I suggest we carry on.
Then we will stay the night in Tessnell. Then probably best fit that we keep our eyes out.
And guards up.
Yes.
If they're there, we could follow them out of town and deal with them there. Unless we see the child, of course.
Yes, unless
I
we
say
see
we
the child.
we inconspicuously ask for information. And
Yeah. Can we do a circle and arrive in the town so it doesn't appear that...
Yeah. As brother Jakob finishes his prayer, he says, I know the mayor of Tessnell quite well. His name is Roman. He's a good man. He's a soldier, retired.
I just want to make sure we're not coming from the direction of where they just came from. I don't want them to think...
Fair enough.
Onto them,
Fair enough. So you guys take sort of a wide run at Tessnell. And then you sort of see it come into view. So Tessnell rises gently atop a low, rounded hill, its silhouette marked by a ring of sharpened logs, a weathered wooden palisade that creaks and groans in the wind. A shallow ditch encircles the outer wall, once intended to slow raiders, now choked with weeds and the remnants of collapsed stakes. It's clear that, they haven't been afraid of any sort of danger here for some time. At each cardinal point stands a squat watchtower roofed with moss-covered shingles. Manned more out of tradition than fear, you think. Beyond the gate, the town itself feels worn from what you can see, like a once proud banner faded by too many seasons. Narrow and uneven lanes wind between the stone cottages, with timber frames and their thatched roofs patched with whatever could be found at the time. Many homes still bear white paint symbols on them from the time of the plague. Chalked crosses and warding runes are smeared on walls and doorways. However, despite this, Tessnell endures, and the scent of honey drifts from the town. Tessnell is known for its apiaries and its meadery. And the meadery itself sits near the town's heart, built from sturdy stone and with an arched chimney that belches fragrant steam out over the town. So, as you ride and sun is down, when you reach the gates, a guard in one of the towers looks down. The gates are shut, and he says, Welcome, travelers. You've come at strange hours to Tessnell. How can my mayor and our people serve you this evening?
I look back to Jakob.
Same.
So it just kind of nod at him like, yeah, he knows the area, he knows the... We'll let him.
He calls out then, he's like, I'm Brother Jakob of the Darkwood Abbey, friend to your mayor. we got a little sidetracked on the way here, and we did not make it before nightfall. I'm not one for horses, Be a kind chap, open the gates. We don't mean the town any harm, just a place to sleep this night, and maybe some of your mead to warm our bones, and a soft chair to cushion our sore behinds, as he adjusts in the saddle. The man on the tower, doesn't necessarily know. Doesn't necessarily know Brother Jakob, but he's like, of course, we'll open the gates for a priest of Darkwood Abbey. We're not so inhospitable that we wouldn't afford some comfort to those who protect the shadow of the woods And he hollers down to the gates, and some a couple of night watchmen open the gates, and they nod to you. And as you move into the town, its streets are not entirely lit, but there are lanterns out in front of some houses and shops still. It's not so late. The sun has just gone down. You're one of the watchmen at the gate, not the tower, but the man down at the gate. He says, "I think the Busy Bee might still have some beds available for you if you're looking for lodgings for the night."
Perfect.
He says,
Sounds nice.
"A Kingsguard."
Indeed. Here supporting Jacob.
We're honored to have you here, sir.
It's an honor to be amongst you all.
Some other knights arrived earlier this day. You're not alone.
Oh, where they stay?
I believe at the Bee.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Not Kingsguard, of course, as they begin to close the gates behind you as your horses move through.
As soon as we get out of earshot of those guys,
Yep.
turn the horse around and rally up and have a discussion.
Okay.
And just kind of look at Thora, Silas, and be like, okay, we're a little bit worse for wear. We can't really pick a fight. Or
Speak for yourself.
Huh? Oh.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Well, you're out of spells, right?
I have enough magic.
Okay. Yeah, I just had an assumption. You know what I mean? Like, apology. That assumption.
Jakob says, please, do me a favor. If the people we're looking for are here, we can't break out in arms in the middle of Tesnal.
Jacob, if they stole a child, and I see that child, I'm going to be hard-pressed to not set an example.
We will...
You cannot fight the... Vhagar, you cannot fight the Pale Blade. Not single-handedly. It is better to be rested and calm and ready. Just... I know I've only known you for a day or two now, but... A weary body also needs rest.
That is true. We do have the town watch on our side as well.
Speaking of which, Brother Jakob, you know much of the town guard here. What are they like?
They're good men and women of this town. But... And he leans in and lowers his voice a bit over the top of the horses and ponies. Not everyone in Krullian disagrees with the choices of the Pale Blade. And if we are going to keep Tesnal as an ally while we're in the bog, we need to make sure that we don't burn any relations here.
Yes, why burn the bridge when...
Although Vhagar wears the fleur-de-lis, not everyone is for the king's rule.
So we do this when they leave Tesnal's borders.
I do not wish to sound like a brigand attacking them on the road, but I don't think we should resort to arms here in the town. If they have a child with them, perhaps diplomacy, maybe we can reason with them.
They
do
stole
not
a
reason with
child.
them.
They took a child.
Yeah. Don't see how.
We don't know why they took this child.
I agree. I'm as outraged as you are, but we can't fight them here.
We gather intel on them, and we confront them when they leave.
Okay.
Agreed. I think we watch them. We watch them, we stay close.
The child's safety right now is my number one concern. So, and I'll just look at everybody like, I'm stuck with this, unfortunately. You all can, but like I'm
I understand.
but I'll give it the night and let them leave town.
I understand.
If they outmatch us, I want to take a look at these guys. If they outmatch us after the town's guard.
If we are going to employ the guard, we will need to make sure that we have the mayor on our side then. Perhaps before visiting the inn, we go to his house.
Well, should we see or make like can we find the child first? You know what I mean?
We need to look to see if they have the child before we go to the mayor and make assumptions.
Yeah, we should inform the mayor that a community near here was burnt to the ground, though. I'm sure there were, family and friends of these guys.
Certainly.
Or were there any survivors that fled here?
It's true. You're right. We should report directly to the mayor. I just don't trust. I don't know. I don't know where those people came from. Those cultists.
Silas's hands, Silas and I are basically having the same type of posture right now. Our hands are kind of like together and thinking.
And Jacques is just taking it all in, kind of watching a tennis match. He's ping-ponging between each of you as you raise your points.
I say we go to the mayor.
I don't think it's a good idea for us to reveal our intentions to the mayor completely, though.
I agree. We don't know who to trust. But Jakob, you trust the mayor? You trust Roman?
I do. I've known Roman for many years.
If you've known him for that long, does he have any beliefs in the Pale Blade?
That's the question. That's the question.
I know that Roman moved here from Kingsgate after serving because he was disenchanted with the authority. I don't think he would stand for the order pushing their doctrine here. Oh, hey, we have a raid.
Oh,
thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay. Hi, everybody.
We're playing some Castles and Crusades. Summer of Siege.
Yeah.
So then, is the plan to go to the mayor first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you make your way through the town, rather towards the center, sort of just off down a side lane. And these are not roads. I don't want the town is very much built up on a hill, and it has sort of these winding little paths between all the cottages. And you make your way around to a cottage that is no more assuming than any other. And a man comes out as your horses stop outside. There is a lantern burning. You see a shadow in the window, and then the man comes out with wrapping a cloak around him. This is
guy screams pro tag energy. He's giving off that pro.
So Roman, once a renowned soldier of the border conflicts under Cara II, which is the king's father, and there were some border disputes with the dwarves during those years. Nothing too warlike, but some skirmishing. He now serves as the steadfast mayor and protector of this quiet town of Testnol. His face, weathered by years of battle and responsibility, bears deep-set lines and a gaze as sharp as a hawk's eyes, and that seems to miss nothing as he looks you over. His long silver hair and beard frame a face marked by scars and resolve, and symbols of the price he paid for peace. He's clad in a sturdy dark cloak fastened with a polished brooch of blue stone. Vagard, you immediately recognize that is a sort of a war honor that's given by the king. So Roman accomplished something that the king thought was worthy. And he steps out. Beneath his cloak, a simple chain hangs about his neck with old military tokens and charms. Protection, charms of protection remind townsfolk of his storied past. And he comes out and he sort of gives a very close look at all of you. He sees Brother Jakob and he's like, You come at a strange time, friends. Jakob, it's good to see you. A Kingsguard and Squire. And then his eyes land on Thora, and an air of suspicion comes over him as he has clearly never seen a tiefling before. What can I do for all of you? What brings you to Tesnul?
Should we... we're here passing on, to head to the bog. We've come across some rather alarming news. I would like to pass in private. And I'm like standing at attention or pass a appropriate salute that I would have, that.
If you'd like, you can come in. Tie your horses to the hitch, and he motions to a post, and he says, and come inside if you'd like.
Can I take a look around?
Yeah.
Just glance. Like, do I see like hooves on the ground that are fresh markings? I mean, I'm not familiar with it, but
the trails that wind beneath the trails that wind beneath the different cottages and that here in town, very well used. You wouldn't be able to tell if anything specific. But as you look around, this is a quiet part of the town, and you can hear sort of a soft, dull roar of from where the inn and the sort of the center of the town is. And here it seems quiet and unbothered. You don't see anything that raises your suspicions.
Never in my life have I wanted to roll an insight check more than I do right now.
You can totally do that if you want. We can make a wisdom check.
I'm good. Okay. I don't think Silas wants to. This is me metagaming. That was good RPing, so my brain just like...
Yeah. So he motions for everyone to follow, and he opens the door and steps inside. As I'm assuming you're going in, Jakob certainly gets down off the pony. Mm-hmm. As you guys pass in through his small gate and through his yard, when you reach his door, there is a white cross on his door. And although it has been wiped many times to try to get it off the door, it still holds. And this was a marking that was put on houses where the plague was in years past. You come in and you hear a young girl's voice say, Papa? Who is it? And he's like, it's Jakob and some friends, dear. And as you enter the house, there is a sort of a common room, and it looks like a dinner table and two girls. One, she's maybe 16, and then the younger one that spoke is maybe about 11. And they've got some bread on the table and some sort of soup or stew that they're eating. And he moves some things about and gets some chairs so that everyone can sit. He says, I was about to make some tea if anyone's interested.
Of course. It's been a long ride. That would be...
Yes, it'll be nice to sit and enjoy some tea by a well-maintained fire.
And when Jakob comes in, the girls recognize him, and they're like, Brother, You're not at the abbey." He says, "No. I've come to solve a mystery." And he smiles at them, and he says, he goes, "These are my friends. This is Silas, Thora, Vaegard, and this handsome young man here is Jacques." And she says, "This is Kayla," and he points to the teen girl, "and Tala, the mayor's daughters."
What's Jake? What's Jacques? What is his? I'm going to read on Jacques right now.
We're not going to get him. Nope, we're not hooking up Jacques. We're not.
That's what I'm saying.
That's my
Come
line.
on.
My line bell right there. We're not hooking up.
Squire Love and Tesnel.
I knew when he said a teen, I was like, oh, Jakob.
Yeah. I'll just be like, stay with the horses.
Jacques smiles, and you tell him to stay with the horses.
Yeah.
He nods, and then heads back out. He doesn't seem disappointed or anything.
Fantastic.
So it's not long before you're all sitting down, and the kettle boils at the fire, and the mayor pours everyone tea. Maybe not what you expected of a mayor, as there's no servants here. It's literally just him and his two girls. And once he's served everyone tea, he gives a cup to Kayla, and he says, "Take it to the boy. He'll be cold out there, I'm sure."
I will. I'll be right back. I'll walk it out there.
Okay.
Hey, don't be a block.
I'll just look. He's on duty.
Okay. Well, take him his tea at the very least. Okay, so you do that, and you come back in, and then the Roman sits down, and he says, "It's been a busy day in town, friends, and if someone had told me a Kingsguard and Brother Jakob was going to be visiting me tonight, I would have probably laughed. So what is it that brings you here, and why can't we speak outdoors?"
Well, we come on the king's duties now. We were heading east of here. I had to look at a map real quick.
Yep.
Solving a mystery, as Jakob has said. And we came across a burnt cottage. And I'll describe it. Near a river, blah, blah, blah. Are you familiar with this cottage?
I think there are a number on our outskirts, but I think I know the family that you speak of.
And how far away was this? Like 5-10 miles? Like close by?
About 12 miles.
There were about.
They also
10.
had a newborn. They also had a newborn daughter as well. Correct?
Not a newborn, he says. Avania's her name. She's almost as old as Kayla.
Are you familiar? Have you seen her often?
I may have. And you can tell that he's a bit of suspicion has built up on his part.
Have you seen her today?
Yes.
With
Was
her
she
mother and
accompanied?
father?
He looks at Jakob with some concern, and Jakob says, "You can trust them, Roman. Give me some credit for who I travel with." She was brought by a group of the Pale Blades. My understanding is that her family is dead.
And she is with the Pale Blades against her will.
And she's not with the Pale Blades. She's been given over to one of the sisters here, and as far as I know, is asleep at the orphanage.
I look at Thora. Like, okay.
The Paleblades are still here in town. We've had a problem with gigs lately coming out of the bog. They've been of some assistance.
Wow.
But you don't trust them.
No.
You never trust fanatics now, Mayor.
Anyone who takes a child against their will, I have no reason to trust.
I want to look at Silas because I think his buy-in is important with this next move. Silas, she's at this orphanage and she's away from those knights. I think we go to this orphanage and we stay at the orphanage tonight. At a minimum.
Roman says to you, there are, and he looks at the door where you saw the mark, and he says, there is a new sickness in the lowlands. It does not affect the body, it affects the mind. And there have been men and women raving across the countryside. The Paleblades told me that this is how Ivania's family met their end.
I spoke to the
Can I assume the sickness drives men crazy? They become mumbling?
Mm-hmm.
Did they mark themselves?
Mm-hmm.
With a circle.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Does the sickness have a name?
We have not named it, as it is fairly recent, only within the last few weeks, but it takes hold quickly.
Silas Pox. You can name it.
Before it takes them in full grip, they're heard uttering phrases about thread and that it hides in the bog.
I'll look over at Brother Jakob and I'll raise an eyebrow, kind of like hinting.
Yeah, he's not so subtle. He nods to you, like, very openly.
Yeah.
I don't think this child's in the orphanage, guys. I think a child's at the orphanage. I don't think it's... We're going to go look at this kid. It's not going to have a mark on its arm. But, you know what I mean? Like...
I think Silas right now is kind of angry, especially hearing a new plague in particular. He has flashbacks, kind of what he grew up specifically in the last few years, where he met Estes and things along that nature. I'm going to walk up towards Roman. Tell me, does a plague stab holes with a spear into two individuals? Or would that be something more that the blades do? I'll get really uncomfortably close to him. My hood is up as well.
Then he'll stand. He stands at that, and as the two of you kind of square off, and he says, "The men and women gripped in madness attack others. This would not be the first farmstead that's fallen to their attacks."
Yes, I'm sure it was crazed individuals. I'll lean back.
I'll hand the parchment that says the Pale Blade. You know, like the parchment that this is attached.
And he says this was at the farmstead.
Yes.
Thora will look at Roman, and she said, "You mentioned about knowing this family at the farmstead.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what Ivania looks like? What her features are?"
Yeah. Yep.
Can you describe them so we know what if we found her at the orphanage?
As I said, she's almost Kayla's age, so maybe 14. I can't be certain of that. There's a lot of farmsteads in the area, but I believe she's about 14. Wouldn't you say, Kayla? Kayla nods. She says, dark hair. Under his breath, maybe a little homely looking.
Nothing else? If I had to pick her out of a crowd against another dark-haired girl, is there any way?
Maybe a touch on the scrawny side.
So he's never seen a mark. And I don't want to even say it out loud. Right? Like, I don't want to give that time.
He does not mention a mark of any type.
Can you take her
That's
to me?
probably not visible.
Sure. We can go to the orphanage if you'd like.
Silas?
I'm in agreement. But eyes peeled.
Can you grab some town guards?
Do you think that will be necessary?
I think it may be necessary.
I think it's necessary. I'll like look at this. I'll hold up the parchment. You know what I mean? But not to be too condescending. Like,
all right.
There is evidence that potentially the Pale Blade murdered this family. We didn't see it with our own eyes, but there is something definitely keen and nefarious.
Okay. He gets his things together. He says to the girls, "Lock the door while we're gone." And he moves across to the house across the street and knocks at the door. A man opens, and you overhear him go, like, "Get your things." And he mentions a few other men's names, and before long, you have a small, sort of Roman and four guardsmen with you. He leads you through town. Everyone going?
I'm going to stay at the house with Brute, actually.
Okay. You stay at the mayor's house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll stay outside.
I'll stop and make sure, just like, Thora, do you trust us in our decisions? Like,
yes.
If we see her, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna like whisper, like, I want to check to see if there's a.
Jacques. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Jacques gonna stay with Thora as well.
Yeah, Jacques like, I'll stay and protect the mayor's daughters with Thora.
From the
before
outside.
Before they leave, I would like to do detect disposition on the mayor.
Oh, okay. Yes. So as you do that, you get an aura of neutrality about him, with spotted with colors of good mixed into the aura. If you had to pick out in game terms, if you had to pick an alignment, you would guess him to maybe be neutral good. He is not 100%. He's certainly not a lawful soul. As you do that, though, as you look over the men that have come out of the house, one of them you do not like the aura of. He has the aura of someone that you would recognize as perhaps selfish or greedy.
But not anything like bad intentions.
No, you I don't think you would be able to tell at this point.
Okay.
Maybe if he was presented with a situation, you would be able to tell something like that. But at this point, you can just tell that, you can tell that he's sort of got a greedy, selfish, self-serving aura.
I will pull. I'll pull Silas aside and I will say, keep an eye on that one. There's something a little off about him.
All right.
Okay. So Roman leads you through town, not down into the center of town, still sticking to sort of the edges. If we think of this as a hill, you're maybe sort of about halfway up the hill. And you circle around to the other side of town, and you come to a very large house, which looks like it may have once have been a shrine, but doesn't bear any holy symbols on it any longer. He leads you up a few steps and knocks on the door, and it opens, and he says, a woman comes who wears sort of simple clothing like that of a nun or an acolyte, a priestess, and he says, "Sister, these are friends of mine from Darkwood Abbey." And she smiles at that. "Oh, the brothers of Darkwood," and he says they'd like to see Ivania. She is still here, correct? Oh yes, I believe the girl. She was quite distraught. I did give her a little something in her tea to calm her nerves, but I believe she's in bed." And she motions for people to come inside. Inside, you see basically this probably was a shrine once, but all sort of religious iconography, if it has been removed, there's none of it here. She moves you through the common spaces to where there's a group of... did we have a raid? Is that what you're thumbing up?
Yeah.
Guild Superior just moved.
Oh, cool! Guild Superior!
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters in Summer of Siege. Welcome.
Don't worry, we haven't TPK'd yet. Give us time.
The sister takes you down the hall. She knocks on a door softly and then doesn't wait for an answer, opens it. And you sort of stand in the hallway with light spilling in from the hallway into what's a very simple room in the orphanage, and a teen girl sort of rolling over, half blurry-eyed, dark hair, a little homely looking, and definitely skinny. Not skinny like malnutrition, just her build. She sort of has a thin frame to her, and she's like, "Yes?" And the sister's like, these gentlemen are from the Abbey, Darkwood Abbey. Have you heard of it? In the north, she says. Yeah, yes, in the north, just up the Darkwood River. And then the nun sort of turns to you like, this is who?
And like Roman, I want to look at Roman and say, "Ivania?" And point at Ivania.
Roman nods, and she's like, and she hears you. She's like, "Yes."
Okay.
Girl, tell me, when were you brought here?
Earlier today.
From where?
My home. And as she says my home, her voice quakes, and you can see tears kind of well up a bit.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go to a knee in front of her. I'm going to cast Divine Aura for whatever worth it is.
Mm-hmm.
Just to try to, you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Kind of flare out in... We're so sorrowful for your loss. Do you feel safe here?
She shakes her head.
Do you feel safer in this home more than you did with the men that brought you here?
She looks at the nun and nods.
Do the men intend on taking you somewhere?
I don't think so. And she says, they're led by a woman, Inquisitor Reese, I think is her name. She wanted to see my mark.
Silas's eyes are immediately going to dart.
Yeah, I want to just almost at a deception persuasion, your mark, as if I want to see it.
And she sort of pulls her nightgown aside a bit, and sort of from her armpit to almost the middle of her chest, there is sort of like a wine stain, like a birthmark. And it's sort of spot blotchy. It's not all one mark. It has a couple different blotches.
A very normal birthmark.
Yeah, you've maybe seen stuff like that before.
Yeah. Nothing like
No.
a tattoo.
No.
Demonic,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah, let's go ahead and ask the child, hey, is this demonic enough for you? Do you get creepy thoughts occasionally, kiddo?
Did the men bring you to this Inquisitor? Was the Inquisitor with the men when they arrived at your house?
There were men that were raving, and Father put Mum and I in the house and grabbed a pitchfork from the barn, and she starts to have trouble telling you that then they started attacking him, and that's when the Inquisitor and her knights
We dodged the bullet.
her knights showed up, and they fought everyone.
Interesting, though, that none of them were killed, but your parents. I'm not saying that out loud, but I'm just like, interesting.
Yeah.
And
Silas
then
is picking up on the same thing. Yep.
and Father fell, and my mother, I think, went out to thank them, and they asked to see me, and they asked if I had a mark. And she breaks down at that point.
Yeah. I'll embrace her. And
When you embrace her, she winces in pain, and you can feel that she has a bandage on her shoulder, the same side that her birthmark is on.
oh, can I tend to your wound, please?
The sisters bandaged it.
I want to see this circle.
So you have a look.
I'll give her, and I'll offer. I'm like, this apple will heal you. Trust me.
Okay. She takes your apple. Her birthmark like wraps under her arm and across the back of her shoulder blade.
To where the bandage is.
Yes. And like as you remove the bandage, she has had a piece of flesh removed from her body.
Interesting. Someone removed part of your birthmark.
They said it had to be.
Try this apple. I want to see if her skin grows back.
Okay. She
I want to see if this thing works.
She timidly at first takes a bite of the apple, and then as she tastes it, it's clear that she has never tasted an apple like this before. Like,
Those are Barry grandmother apples.
the best apple she has ever had. And as you watch, like, her wounds close, and the skinny girl seems to even put on a little bit of weight all of a sudden as, like, the magic apple takes its full effect until her wound is gone.
Does anything appear on
No.
that?
No. She's likely to have a scar there, but nothing appears in its place.
Who removed your skin?
Feeling emboldened by the apple and clearly feeling sort of the sympathy that everyone in here has for her, she sort of, for the first time, shows a bit of anger, and she tells you that the Inquisitor took it.
Okay. Silas?
Alice had his notes out. His other note just kind of making sections and things like that, marks it down. He kneels down next to the girl. I'm so sorry for everything you've had to go through. No one deserves it. No one deserves that, especially to good parents.
I don't know why they had to kill her. They'd already killed the other men.
I don't think it was about the men, but how about this? Sleep for the night, and I promise you, because of that apple, you will feel better in the morrow. Okay?
She nods to you.
Vanguard, I think we have what we came for here.
Yes, sir. I'll walk. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. As soon as you get into the hallway and the door closes, Roman's like, "What the hell are they doing, taking skin from the child? What is that about?"
we should ask. Is this something that is illegal?
Well, there's no laws against it, but it's certainly not. I mean, we don't have a law specifically for that.
Can you summons the Inquisitor?
Murder, though, I suppose, for what they've done to her mother.
Can we rest and then summons the Inquisitor in the morning? Can guard leave?
I don't have the manpower to take those nights.
We don't need the
You have
manpower.
us as well.
Let's just head back. For now, let's head back.
Great.
They have this skin of... It's a component.
Okay. Can we stay with you tonight? Oh my God, Blue Cottage D&D just raided too.
No, welcome, guys. Welcome.
Guys.
Hello, everyone.
My fellow Alabamian D&D players, hi!
While you guys have done your investigation, let's jump back over to Thora. So Thora, you and young Jacques are standing guard outside the mayor's house. And you clearly know that you have eyes on the two of you from the cottage. The two girls are peeking out from behind curtains and things like that. Jacques looks at you, he's like, "They're probably looking at your horns, you know." He's like, "They don't bother me, but I think some people still find them strange."
And that's okay. They can look all they want. It's when I get insulted is when I take offense. But a little bit of curiosity never really hurt anybody.
What do you think Vagard and Silas will find out?
Hopefully what we need to know. Hopefully we can deal with these Pale Blade for what they've done.
Do you think
and hopefully we can figure out why they took her.
They think she's the one, right? It has to be. They think she's the one from the prophecy.
Well, that we do not know, and we cannot get ahead of ourselves. We need to know why they took her and what are their plans for her. And we need to try to get her away from them.
What if she's marked? What if she's the one? What if she's the one?
Then we will deal with it.
What the mark is supposed to look like? Do we know what the mark is supposed to look like?
The prophecy said that she'll have a mark upon her breast. Meaning her chest. I was trying to be poetic. Yeah. Yeah, that she'd bear a mark, and it would be the mark of the abyss.
If she is the one, we will deal with it.
Like
when we can.
He like grabs his sword. He's like deal with it.
No.
Sorry, he doesn't have a sword. It's a dagger, a dagger and a spear. So he grabs his dagger. He's like deal with it.
No. We will figure out what our next steps will be, if she does happen to be the one. But we cannot assume without asking the right question. So, until the rest of the group gets back, we just need to watch out for these two girls.
Yes, absolutely. And he tries to stay focused for 10 minutes. And then he's like, but if she is the one, then
we do not know that.
But that kind of means we're a part of the prophecy then, aren't we, Thora? Like we could be legends.
If that is what we will be, then that is what we will be, but
I want to be a legend. I don't know about you, but I want to be a legend.
Look, you can be whatever your heart desires, whatever you set out to be, but right now we need to focus on the now.
Yes.
And not what could possibly be.
Absolutely.
When you grow up, you can be anything you want, kiddo.
As he's sitting, he's not really talking to you. He's like, a legend with a horse from Galengard. And he's like trying to play through things in his head.
Is he saying that out loud?
Yeah, absolutely.
When he says a horse from Galengard, I kind of, you have to grow a little bit taller to ride when it's got to be a little bit stronger to ride one of these.
And I've heard that you have to do some sort of, you have to do something like really noble and inspiring for the Gales, right?
You are absolutely correct. And she kind of goes and pats him on the back really hard. So when you become that come and see me.
he's like, okay, and he's back in his thoughts again. You guys wander back to the mayor's house then?
Yeah. We
I
don't
don't
know.
think
The mayor
don't know for certain she could be this chosen one.
The mayor tells you as Roman walks back towards his house with you, he says there's got to be 30 knights in town right now. I do not Vegard, I do not have the manpower to stand against something like that. And
if they take her, we can't.
My understanding is that Inquisitor Reese is no pushover. We do not have a tactical advantage here.
We'll never get a better tactical advantage. You know what I mean? This is as good as it'll ever get.
We cannot stand up to 30 plus knights against the Veil Guard and one of their Inquisitors. We can't do it. We do not have the manpower, not just with his thing. Ourselves, we are not well equipped to handle
Do we get the girl out of here tonight then? Just to be sure? It's the only chance we'd get.
Brother Jakob's like, where do we take her?
Is Thora able to hear?
No, as they're we'll say is that no, I don't want you to be excluded. So let's say they arrive back and they're still chatting about it. They're not in the house yet, and you overhear sort of the last few comments we've made there. So Thora is welcome to input.
So you say Does she get basically like a rundown of what happened at the orphanage?
Yeah, I'll lay it out.
Okay.
Jacques is just like
If they left her
legendary.
My problem with this is they took her. If she was that important, they wouldn't have kept her out of their sight.
Brother Jakob says whatever they were looking for when they took that piece from her, as Silas has pointed out, the piece is either important to them and she's no longer needed, or whatever they were looking for with that piece came up negative to what they were hoping to find. They would not have. I don't think they would have given the girl up to the orphanage if they still needed her. Inquisitors are very shrewd.
Exactly.
I don't think that would be the case at all.
I'm glad the girl is now safe. I absolutely do feel for her for what happened to her mother and her father. But they wanted this piece and they cut it off of her so badly that it was that important to them. That is what my thoughts are on now.
I mean, we can emboldenedly ask the Inquisitor, what was that all about? Why did you leave this parchment? Why did you not kill any of the cultists?
Jakob says, if we are to do that, if we are to approach the Pale Blades, I believe Vhagar is the one to do that then. I do not think that the Pale Blades will assault or harm a Kingsguard. The rest of us will need to keep back. And I have some concerns about what they will think of Thora if they see her.
Yes, I do not want the chance of a battle commencing in town, and we are highly outnumbered. I do not think that would end well for us. I do not mind staying out of sight.
You need to be careful with your questions, then.
Well, what do you think I should ask? I'm sorry, we just got another raid. Sorry.
Another raid! Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness, all the raids!
Welcome!
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean...
DM Towsy.
I would like to know what happened. I just want to flat out, what happened at the cottage? I want to hear their side of it. There's something definitely nefarious going on here. I'm not going to question them in a... Honestly, I just want to know what their side of the story is. If we're outnumbered, you're right. Their secret, their activities will go unanswered. I think I play naivete. It's strictly ask them what happened on behalf of the king.
Brother Jakob says, let us not forget our goal here. The sickness that Roman spoke about could very well be linked to what Father... I've totally drawn a blank on the other brother's name. Brother...
Graydon.
Thank you, PCs, coming through for me. I'll give you bonus XP for that. Clearly, the sickness could be linked to what happened to Brother Graydon. And although the child was harmed, I do believe she's safe now.
Yeah, agreed. But the Inquisition has some valuable information that we want. I would like to just, hey, what are you doing here? What do you know about diseases? What do you know about marks? What kind of mark are you looking for? And just ask, what was this all about? Maybe the king, when I return to the king, I can add to your search. I'll just totally be pragmatic, to the situation. And then we're on our way to continue to the bog and head to, and see what else we can find.
I am fine with this plan, Vhagar, but you mustn't provoke her or her knights.
I swear to you.
And I think the rest of us need to stay hidden.
Agreed.
Very well.
I think that all of us stay out of sight.
But I think the mayor needs to go with Vhagar, though. Vhagar needs to have somebody with him. He can't go in alone.
Jakob couldn't come as well as a priest from the Dark Abbey. So me, Jakob, and Roman seemed like a pretty, you know what I mean? Like, nope, no Jakob.
Jakob shakes his head. He goes, I don't know.
Okay.
I agree.
We'll
I agree with Thora. I think that you and the mayor, and just pose as a traveling knight. Make up some business of why you're here.
Yep. Okay. Hey, I heard you guys were here. Wanted to check in with you. What are you doing here?
Be careful with what that you reveal to them then as well.
Yeah, I'll probably just, unless they are forthcoming about the cottage. If they're not forthcoming about the cottage, that's a huge tell to me as well.
I agree then.
Okay.
Oh, from the Tomb of Annihilation. I'm sorry, I'm reading chat for a second.
Taking refuge from it. Oh my god. You guys are more than welcome here.
Okay, so Vhagar going to the inn right now?
Sure.
So
I would rather catch them completely off guard and asleep than fully rested. You know what I mean? Like, I want to use
the mayor. The mayor turns to Brother Jacob, and says, "If this goes wrong, you need to swear that you'll get my girls to Darkwood Abbey." And Jacob looks to Thora and Silas and says, "If this goes wrong, we will get the girls to Darkwood Abbey."
I will immediately call them on Brute and get them there.
Even Jacques doesn't say anything, but he nods, like trying to show that like he's taking this. At which point, we haven't done one of these yet, but this is again a homebrew rule that we talked a little bit about in session 0. Roman basically asks the party to swear an oath to that, which means if Roman does not return, then so long as you work towards getting his daughters to Darkwood Abbey, you'll receive bonuses on rolls. And if you don't work towards if you get sidetracked in any way, or then you'll have negatives on rolls. So he as words like prophecies mean something here in Krullian, he asks you to swear an oath that you'll take his daughters to Darkwood Abbey if he does not return with Vhagar.
We
I
swear
swear
this
to it.
oath.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He seems somewhat relieved, and him and Vhagar disappear up the road into the center of town. As you make your way into the center of town, Vhagar, you can see the Busy Bee Inn, and the smell of sweet mead sort of hangs in the air here, both from the meadery where it's being made, but also it's being served in great quantity right now at the inn. There are a number of knights standing about outside drinking. Some tables have even been moved outside, like there's no room to sit inside anymore. And they have some tables and chairs set up in sort of the town square. As you and the mayor walk up, a few of them nod to you, recognizing the mayor, and then recognizing that you're a Kingsguard. No one says anything. There are smiles and nods. The men are all dressed. This is no joke. They have breastplates and plate armor. Their armor is adorned with what looks to be tiny threads that then split into smaller threads across their armor. I have a picture here. Hold on. We'll get them up. Order of the Pale Blade. Show the players.
Sick.
And their white cowls, of course, and their helms. Their helms are off, though. This picture is intentionally making them look a little dark and grim. But their helmets aren't on right now. But their armor, with that splitting line, as well as some of them wear the stars of Istis. And all of them have long swords that are sheathed. as you move through them and into the inn itself, you come into sort of a smoke-hazed room where lots of people are smoking pipes and tobacco and things like that, and there's some music being played, and there are servers getting food and drink around the room, and the inn is literally packed to the point of there is hardly any room here left. When the guards at the gate told you that there was room here, you don't know what room they were talking about, because you're not sure that you could even find a place here. As you come in, one of the serving boys, he's carrying like a tray filled with dirty dishes and that. He sort of stops in front of you and he goes, "Oh, welcome! Oh, more knights. Oh, hello, Mayor! Hello! Find a place to sit if you can." And he hustles off away. And one of the knights comes over, sort of a heavier set man with a dark beard that hangs down almost to the middle of his chest, comes over and he looks at you and the mayor. "Roman, a Kingsguard. You're very far from the capital. Kingsguard don't come to the lowlands very often."
I'll, extend my hand. Vagard Lepic, at your service.
Drax. He says,
Notes.
the mayor says, "We're hoping we could speak to the Inquisitor." "Well, what's your deal with that? She's a busy and important person. King's business, I assume." And he smirks. He takes a long look at the two of you, and then motions for you, and he moves through the tap room, past, dodging, serving people, and the men and women dressed in the Pale Blades garments here. They're lifting drinks and talking, and they're generally in good spirits. And then he takes you upstairs, and you're on a sort of a catwalk overlooking the main room, and there's bedrooms off of it. And he then stops at one of them and knocks, and you hear a woman's voice, and he says, "There's a Kingsguard here with the mayor." And very quickly you hear someone moving in the room come to the door and open it. And it is a woman. She draws back her hood as she opens the door and sees that it is in fact a Kingsguard. And her one eye glows a bright blue.
Oh, fun.
Her other eye is not blue. It's sort of a gray color.
Okay.
She steps to one side. "Won't you come in?"
I'll smartly, grab the hilt of my sword, kind of stand at attention, and bow as soon as I see her. And, "Good evening, Threadbare," and I'll walk in.
Formal. I like formal. And
Well, as a formality, I intend to present myself, as I found out that the Pale Blade was here this evening, and as a fellow knight, and as a fellow goodly citizen of His Majesty, I shall report to you.
okay, so you come into the room, and Drax also comes in and closes the door. So Drax stands by the door. Roman is standing by the door beside Drax, and she motions for a table in her room that the two of you can sit at. You're not sitting across from one another. It's sort of pushed against the wall, and you're sitting sort of side by side. And she sits down. Her sword lays on the bed. She doesn't seem to be taking any sort of posturing with you, and she's like, "You're a long way from home."
Of course, I've was sent on a quest from His Majesty. Come to the Abbey to grab someone for a great wedding, and I'll describe the wedding. While we were there, we heard some rumors about some diseases of madness that are occurring in this area. Actually, towards the we're just passing through, heading to the west toward Grendel. Once we saw your horses stabled here and spoke to the mayor himself, I wanted to present myself that you didn't think there was any disturbances. We're all on His Majesty's business.
There's something rolling through the lowlands. Mad men and women. Entire villages losing their mind. Something's come out of the bog, we think.
We intend to explore that and report back to the king.
Who's we? Do you have a company here?
Oh, we don't travel alone. I come with a priest.
Just yourself and a priest?
There were a few others that came with us. Is there any reason why? Should I not go by myself?
No.
I heard it's dangerous.
I mean, the Bloodhorn Bog is a dangerous place, absolutely.
Perfect place for a king's guard.
I didn't know the king...
My squire will learn a lot.
I didn't know the king took such interest, though, in the lowlands.
Well, you know how his oaths go. In order to get this priest to the wedding, I have to go check out this bog.
Yes, the wedding. A Varen from Tylus. A beautiful woman.
That's correct. Never met her. Yeah.
I can't say I've had the pleasure either.
So you mentioned diseases. Have you crossed any?
There's a madness spreading through the lowlands. It affects the mind.
Have you run into them
Many times.
personally?
Mm-hmm. We've done the king a service and gotten rid of them for him.
Sure, the king will be very pleased.
I'm sure he
Are they
will.
a threat? Are they threatening or hurting anyone?
Very much so. Tesnol has already had raiders at their wall. And Roman confirms that. You guys didn't really speak of that, but Roman says there's been a few attempts to breach. Their numbers aren't... And he sort of stumbles for a word, and she's like, they're a threat. Maybe not a great threat. The walls will keep them out.
But there is no cure that you can see.
You don't cure sickness.
I mean, literally, I can cure disease, but I don't want to. I was just like, but just once a week. Some, but maybe more research is required.
You stamp it
That's
out.
what oath I'm on. Where do you guys head? Tomorrow?
We intend to push into the lowlands again.
Into the bog?
Probably not as far as the bog. Our business
Have you heard about these gigs?
does not take us in there. The gigs?
Have you heard about these gigs, these frogmen?
There's many gig tribes within the bog. And of course, there's Gwen.
Gwen?
You've never heard of Gwen?
I have not.
Do you-
Just rips through notes real fast.
Have you heard of the Fae?
I have. Oh. Like a hag?
I suppose that's what you could call Gwen. She's old, very old. She's probably been in that bog longer than... maybe longer than the bog itself. Green Gwen... The villagers of Grendel and Mistvale call her Green Gwen.
Maybe we should avoid her.
I don't think you'll find her. I think it's old tales. But they say she's in there. That was the best. Oh, that was great.
The fourth wall. Like, yeah.
I wish I would have had the sound effect prep. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Well, I hope you find what you're, other than the disease, is there anything that you're on task for? That if I find it, I can be of aid?
We're looking for a girl.
Have you found her?
I'm sure you've heard of the prophecy.
Of course. And no luck?
Not yet.
If we find her, how could I identify her? I've heard something about a mark.
Mm-hmm.
Any more specifics? Any more specifics about this mark?
If you find a girl with a mark, you should probably bring her here to Tesnol.
So you plan on staying in Tesnol? I'll look at Roman.
Roman seems unsure, and she says, "We're going to be in the lowlands for a while, and Tesnol certainly suits our needs. And the innkeeper, I'm sure, appreciates our business.
Of course.
We pay well."
Any girl with a mark, well, that's not enough. You know, a mole.
No, it's...
Anything more specific?
It will be bigger than a mole.
Please, be more specific.
Well, I would like to. But the mark's description is very vague in the prophecy. It merely states that it will take the form of the abyss. And unless you've found ways to travel beyond this plane, then we're not sure what form that will take. But we do know one thing, that she's been born. And she's been born some time ago. Drax is like, Inquisitor, and she lifts a finger to silence him. We can tell this Kingsguard what he's looking for. A young girl, a teen, maybe older, with a mark on her torso. We're not sure how well the prophecy was interpreted. But we'll find her for the betterment of Krolian and all those lands beyond. Because if she comes of age, and she's very close of coming of age, if we are to understand the prophecy correctly, we don't have much time. Do you know of a girl that I speak? Have you seen one?
Have not. But you're in Truskull. If we see an abyssal creature or a mark like this, we'd know who to come to.
And we didn't properly introduce ourselves. You can call me Reese. And your name?
Vagard Lepic. And I bow again. At your service.
She thinks for a moment. And she's like, "You're noble."
Is that a problem? Nobility passes you when you join the fleur-de-lis. I'm just in service of the king.
She pauses and she's like,
with the music, I can hear now.
she takes a long look and is really thinking deeply about you, as if your name is familiar to her. I think we will meet again, Vhagar. Maybe you'll have a child for us the next time we meet.
Maybe. And I stand smartly. It was a pleasure to meet you, Reese. And I cannot wait to see you again.
One last thing before you run back to your priest and squire. Know that you cannot stop the Pale Blade. I will cut every child from here to Kingsgate to find what I'm looking for. Do you understand me?
What does the cut provide? Curious. As I'm walking away, what does the cut do?
She smiles. She goes, ask your priest.
I will. Well, good luck with that. I'll just like.
and the mayor's like, good night, everyone. And he's like very happy to be leaving the room.
Yeah,
and
it's like a very LAPD FBI related. Roger that, just fucking like.
So the two of you make your way back, and I think that's as good a spot as any to wrap here for tonight, and we'll come back to it. Hopefully, Grenna will rejoin us next time. We're back in 2 weeks. We do this campaign every other week, and let's talk about what other games you got going on here.
Oh gosh, so many. So Saturday, Lord Gazoo. At 8 a.m. Right, 9 a.m. Is it 9? Coco? It's 9 a.m. It's an early game. And then Sunday we're back here at 2 p.m. Eastern. On Sunday with Salt. And then I think we get a good potential break next week, and then we continue this.
Nice.
Back on returning to you in Castles Crusade. Me and Charm Fantasy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Coco, anything you need or want to plug?
Well, tomorrow we'll be live on my channel. We're going to be doing Repo. Play Repo and, laugh your ass off. Let's do it. Let's play. But yeah, Saturday I will be with Tim, 8 a.m. my time.
Oh.
Lord Zumba's channel. I'll be playing my level 8-9 fighter magic user Faunalyn. Super excited. Gotta get her higher level for the 24-hour that's happening on July 5th. And Tim will be a part of that as well. And then Sunday, I will be on Phantom NJ's channel at 10 a.m. Doing some amazing adventures. So I'm super exciid about
You are always so busy. I would like to see a calendar of all your games laid out. See all your games laid out.
Oh, you'll get a headache by how many yellow spots you see everywhere.
Perfect. Mox, anything you want to plug other than it's your birthday?
It is, yes, the
Happy
day after
birthday
my birthday.
Huzzah!
Nothing big. You guys can always follow me on social at Momo687 on Instagram. I'm on there a lot. And if you guys ever are bored and you listen to podcasts occasionally, give me a listen to on Dungeons and Brews, my buddies and I podcast that we will bringing back as soon as I have the time to edit the episode. We do have 15 episodes out, but if you guys are curious and bored, just give it a listen. Dungeons and Brews, primarily on Spotify, but you can find us anywhere. So
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Awesome. Do you want to rate us into Darling? She's on.
That's right. Hey, good call. Yeah, I'll let me do the thing.
Thanks everybody for coming out. Thanks for all the raids while Tim plugs in our own raid.
Gosh,
We had lots
y'all are amazing.
Lots
Thank
of
you.
raids after raids, and yeah, hopefully everybody had a good night, had good games of their own. We had another good time here, I hope. I certainly did. I certainly
Absolutely.
did. We got to meet our Inquisition, or our Inquisitor of the Pale Blade.
Do you
Yeah,
have to
she's
use
gonna
caps
be a
lock?
fun villain.
Why does it keep seeing?
What's that? Caps, find villain. Search villain. There we go.
Okay.
The raid is up.
Raid again. Like 7 seconds. Bye, everybody. Love you. Hey,
Bye.
I'm gonna push this over into a hold screen. Stick around. Let's give Darling lots of love.